Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Fortune of Nations. Marriage Game, Thousands of Dimension Templates. Chapter 81. As the National Games rewards were issued, rays of light fell from the sky and rushed straight into the bodies of every Chinese citizen. The whole country of Huasha was boiling, and they all felt this god-level national fortune reward. Now they have ignored their increased lifespan, their smarter minds, and their skyrocketing looks. I saw that everyone couldn't wait to summon the eclipse spirit in their bodies. The eclipse spirits exuding a faint golden light and having the same outline as the summoner appeared in front of the eyes of all Chinese citizens. The Chinese citizens began to try to command their respective spirits, and said excitedly, "It's so cool. It is indeed a god-level national games reward. I'm a construction worker. With the help of the eclipse spirit, my efficiency in moving bricks has doubled. I'm a long-distance driver, and with the elephant, I'll switch to the elephant as soon as I get tired. With the help of Zilling, I no longer have to take the risk of climbing electric poles to repair high-voltage wires." Citizens of various hostile countries looked at this almost exaggerated god-level national fortune reward, and their molars were so sore that they were about to gnaw. Fact, everyone can summon a ghost. This is too scary. Baga, aren't the Chinese people invincible? Originally, the attributes have been improved a lot, but now they can summon a corroding spirit. It seems that Huasha has now secured its position as the world's hegemon. It's time for us to bow down to Huasha. Maria Fake, if China sends an army of 100,000 will be 200,000 strong, which country will be the real opponent? I'm so envious, if only I could have a summonable spirit. In the Huasha official conference room, all the leaders looked at the eclipse spirit they had summoned in front of them. Everyone's face is full of incomparable excitement. This important strategic significance, they are clearer than anyone. Now our Chinese citizens, everyone can improve their own attributes by eating meat, and everyone's body is getting stronger and healthier every day. According to the joint research of scientific research institutions and medical institutions, the elixir properties of many plants have been explored, and many people's terminal illnesses have been cured. Our current death rate in Huasha has been greatly reduced, almost to zero. Scientists have improved their intelligence attributes higher and higher, and many cutting-edge scientific research problems have been broken by them one by one. Now that we have obtained this ability, for our army and our soldiers, it is like giving a second life. To be precise, it's 3 lives, because many people haven't used up the gift buff they got last time. The Great Elder looked at the scene in front of him with satisfaction. According to the current situation in China, it is simply in an invincible state. Now any country is not an opponent of China. It can't even threaten the current Huasha. Now the Great Elder, for 3 years from now, all human beings will have to resist the invasion of civilizations from different dimensions. With great self-confidence, in the game world, Tianhe brought his 4th wife, Xinyue, returned to his homeland. As soon as Xinyue came to this S-level dragon training stone castle, she was immediately fascinated by the leisurely scenery here. The huge stone castle, the endless grass farms, and the suitable temperature and weather let her feel relaxed like never before. "Husband, I like this place so much," Xinyue said to Yu. Yu Mo smiled and stroked Xinyue's cheek. "This will be our home from now on. You can live comfortably here every day." At this time, Xiao Wu and Feng Ju, with their stomachs upright, and Kyle, who was flapping his wings, rushed out of the castle. Xinyue saw 3 unique and peerless beauties with different styles. Immediately smiled at Yu Mo. "Husband, your vision is really amazing. The 3 sisters are all so beautiful." At this time, the 3 of Xiao Wu also came in front of Yu Mo and Xinyue. Just now Yi Fu was sent back home by Yu Mo. They knew that another sister had joined the extended family. And when they really saw Xinyue's otherworldly, beautiful and gorgeous face, and that invincible figure that towers over everyone and is turbulent, the 3 of them joked one after another. "Sister, you are really big. No wonder my husband looks at my sister so greedily, I can't stand it. You are amazing." Xinyue bowed slightly to the 3 sisters, smiled and said, "My sister sends hello to the 3 sisters." Seeing this harmonious scene, Yu Mo sighed inwardly. This fortune-matching game is really a good game. If this scene is placed in reality, that is absolutely impossible. I probably will never enjoy such an experience in my life. Yu Mo greeted the four wives and walked to the inside of the castle. Having just experienced a big battle and a big war, Yu Mo was already growling with hunger. With the addition of new sisters, Xiao Wu, Feng Ju and Kyle act at the same time. Wagyu hunter, Xiao Wu went out again. Even with her belly upright, she slaughtered a wagyu with ease. Take it back to the kitchen and start grilling. Feng Ju and Kyle used magic power to harvest the grain from the farm. Start making delicious mains or pastries. Seeing the three sisters start to get busy, Shinuikui didn't have any airs of being a descendant of God. Instead, they summoned several eclipses and began to prepare meals and clean the interior and rooms of the huge castle. Yu Mo, who is the only male host, is lying leisurely on the sofa in the lobby, roasting the warm stove, stroking Yi Fu who was sleeping on the blanket, waiting for dinner prepared by the wives. After eating and drinking enough, Yu Mo let the four wives rest at home. I returned to the initial plane with the allocated food. Open the trading system and put food into it. His 6 Gods armor plan is very ambitious. It has to be done every day to make it happen. Then he returned home and put all the equipment collected today into the God stove. Gained 3 points of smelting. Although the smelting value is low, there will always be a day when it reaches 100. Finally, Yu Mo came to the altar of how to train the dragon and started the daily refresh. But not surprisingly, nothing came out. After completing a series of operations, Yu Mo returned to the castle. At this time, Xiao Wu and Feng Ju, who were pregnant, had already fallen asleep first. On the contrary, it was Kyle who was unconvinced yesterday, and Shinuikui who just held the ceremony today. Still waiting for Yu Mo in the lobby at home. Yu Mo smiled and immediately understood what the two meant. Then he pulled the two of them and randomly chose a large room in the castle. Fang Tian draws a halberd and goes to battle. How about another 3-person ceremony today? Seeing that the screen of Yu Mo fell into darkness again, many Chinese citizens quit the live broadcast screen of Washa cursing. How could he have such good physical strength? Why is his wife so beautiful? What was the threesome ceremony like? The bored night owls swiped to the live broadcast room of other countries again. Sure enough, there must be a silly beep acting as a demon in the middle of the night, and today's silly beep. It is the new player of Sakura Kingdom, Anbei Shaosun. Through the live broadcast of Sakura Kingdom, no one could see the existence of Anbei Shaosun. Because during these 2 days of exploration, Anbei Shaosun didn't find any matching rooms. But he got a few pieces of equipment, namely AC plus Ice Dagger, Strength plus 20, Agility plus 16. And an obscuring robe of quality A. This piece of equipment cannot add any attributes to Anbei Shaosun. But it has a very unique effect. That is, when the player wears it, he can enter a stealth state of complete invisibility. Except for powerful people who can feel the breath of Anbei Shaosun. Otherwise, he would not be aware of his presence at all. Today, the last room of Anbei Shaosun is a connecting room. After Anbei Shaosun pushed open the door, he came to the initial plane of a random player. Except for the 3 white random doors that have already been opened. The remaining one was the closed pink wedding room door. It seems that this player is holding a ceremony with his marriage partner inside. Anbei Shaosun couldn't help scolding angrily, why her face was so dark. It's been 2 days and I haven't found a 25 matching rooms. Seeing no one around, Anbei Shaosun, who knew he was weak, immediately wanted to run away and end his exploration. But at this moment, a European and American man with blonde hair and blue eyes came out with a cute girl in a Lolita skirt, double ponytails, and 2 kitten ears on her head. The expression on the face of the European and American man seemed to be unfinished, and he held the shoulder of the cat-eared sister very proudly. And neither of them found Anbei Shaosun, who was in a state of stealth at this time. Seeing the cute and small figure of the cat-eared sister, and the exquisite and charming facial features, it is as if she came out of the comics. Anbei Shaosun, who was deeply influenced by culture on weekdays, couldn't move her legs immediately. Isn't this the animal ear girl I dreamed of? Isn't this the object that I rushed to the picture every night? To be so spoiled by a European and American man. All of a sudden, Anbei Shaosun was burning with jealousy and anger. He had imagined 10,000 times that he would open the door of the marriage room and meet such a partner. Unexpectedly, a European and American man took the lead. At this time, the European and American man said, Oh baby, let's go back to our homeland. There is food and water at home, you must be hungry, it's been so long just now. Sister Mauer said in Anbei Xiaosan's favorite lowly voice. Ah, good brother, people are really hungry. Hearing the lowly voice of the cat-eared sister, and hearing the content of the conversation between the two. Anbei Xiaosan, who was so angry and bloody, immediately wanted to take out his ice dagger and stab the European and American man to death. But looking at this European and American man who is almost 2 meters tall and has strong muscles, and the steel armor worn on the body, even Anbei Xiaosan, who was in a state of invisibility, didn't have much confidence in killing him on the spot. So a bold plan sprouted in Anbei Xiaosan's heart. The moment the European and American man summoned his homeland and left the plane, Anbei Xiaosan followed silently, then quietly followed behind them, lurking next to the European and American men's wooden huts. This waited until late at night. Watching the two flirting and having dinner together, European and American men also played tricks on the cat-eared sister in various ways. The cat-eared sister also enjoyed it very much, and even performed a trick, cat licking, in front of Anbei Xiaosan. He directly saw Anbei Xiaosan as a broken defense. Now the two have finally entered the white-hot stage. Listening to the deep panting of European and American men, and the crying of the cat-eared sister, Anbei Xiaosan finally clenched his ice dagger tightly. Step by step, he walked towards the door of the hut. At the same time, the citizens of Great Britain are very eager, because they have the perspective that the nationals saw on the live broadcast of Sakura Country. It is exactly the same as the picture of the Great Britain player Brian. All of them understood immediately that Sakura had sneaked into Brian's home. As the third player of Great Britain, Brian's performance is the best. The first player stepped on the trap for the first time, exploring, let a city in Great Britain be slaughtered by an acute infectious disease. The second player persisted for 2 days, finally found a marriage room, opened it and found that it was a lioness, and was frightened to death. Let all the animals in Great Britain riot and attack the city in groups, causing countless deaths and injuries to many citizens. And the third one is Brian. He learned from the experience of the first 2 players and played cautiously and steadily. In the random room, I got several good novice equipment, as well as a skill and a home upgrade card. Today, a ceremony was held with a cat girl whose strength is C. Brought national fortune rewards to Great Britain. Each national life +1, sensitivity +2, strength +1. At night, the overall attributes of the nationals of Great Britain +10. Although all British nationals don't quite understand the significance of this national sports reward. Is it possible to make all the citizens night owls? But it's better than nothing. All the citizens love this beast-eared girl very much. And because at this time, Brian and Sister Cat-Ear started the ceremony again. The live broadcast of Great Britain turned into darkness. Many citizens ran to the live broadcast of the Sakura Kingdom. Looking at the angle of view on the screen, everyone was very anxious, but there was nothing they could do. Fact, is this Sakura devil trying to assassinate our Brian? Mary Falk, it must be for girl. This kind of beast-eared girl is the most suitable for the taste of those little cherry blossoms. Brian is the best performer in our country. Don't let anything happen to you. I don't think so. The Sakura devil has already touched the door, and Brian is still breathing. Shiete, the Sakura devils are really despicable. And the few remaining citizens of Sakura Country are terrified. Because whether it was Ito Takashi before, or Durant of Eagle Sauce and Li Bingxian of Banksy Kingdom today, they are the 2 players who killed Mao Shangguo. As a result, they were all hit by Mao Shangguo's atomic bomb package. Although the country of Great Britain is not as powerful as the Mao Shang country, but it also holds some deadly weapons. Taking the current tragedy of Sakura Country as an example, if it is attacked by Great Britain again, it's scary that their small island is about to be bombed and sunk. Cherry Blossom citizens complained one after another. Baga, Ito Takashi made us eat an atomic bomb. What is this Anbei Xiaosan trying to do now? No reason, you idiot. He must have been watching the day Takashi Ito killed us. Could it be that this Baga was so interested in taking this beast-eared lady as his wife? I think it should be. After all, we Sakura men like this one the most. Baga, he doesn't know that if the player dies, their marriage partner will also disappear immediately. He really doesn't seem to know. And Anbei Xiaosan in the game world has quietly pushed open the door of Brian's hut at this moment. Brian in the hut was exercising at high speed at this time. Anbei Xiaosan, who was quietly approaching, was immediately annoyed. Seizing the right moment, he swooped and stabbed Brian directly in the neck. Brian's head fell off immediately, and blood gushed out from the bowl-sized wound. The cat-eared sister who was lying down and babbling suddenly screamed loudly in fright. The prompt interface of the game system also appears. Detected death of Great Britain player. 10 minutes later, Great Britain will randomly generate a disaster. After the disaster is over, select players to enter the game again. At this time, Anbei Xiaosan showed her figure. Immediately pushed away Brian's body. Greedy eyes stared at the terrified animal ear girl at the moment. Looking at a white snow field and dense jungle, Anbei Xiaosan couldn't bear it anymore, and quickly held down the panicked cat-eared sister to make up for it. Seeing this scene, the citizens of Great Britain immediately exploded. Fact. Beast. Sure enough, the Sakura people are a perverted nation. As other people's wives so fragrant. Just fill in the seat. Isn't this kid suffocated? Sakura devils. We, Great Britain, will make you pay with blood. It seems that you still can't get enough of the atomic bombs from Maoshong, and we, Great Britain, want to let you taste the atomic bombs. And the citizens of Sakura country are also dumbfounded by Anbei Xiaosan's actions at this moment. Baga, shame on our great Yamato nation. It's over now, and the people of Great Britain have been provoked again, and we are about to eat the atomic bomb again. Now the whole world knows that our cherry blossom citizens are perverted. Anbei Xiaosan is really disgusting. Isn't it just a girl with beast ears? Anbei Xiaosan, can't you hold back like this? At this moment, Anbei Xiaosan firmly held Sister Mauer. Greedy and incessantly perpetrating horrific sadism against her. At this moment, he didn't care how many pairs of eyes were staring at him. After all, I don't know when I will die in this game, since I met my dream. You must grasp it vigorously. And at this time, the time came to the early morning. As a result of Brian's death, the entire house begins to dissipate. Even Sister Mauer, who was being tortured and sprinted by Anbei Xiaosan, began to faintly collapse. But at this moment, the moon hanging high outside the hut suddenly shot out a ray of bright moonlight. It fell from the sky, rushed straight to the hut, and landed on the trembling body of the cat-eared sister. The cat-eared sister, who was powerless to resist, suddenly rolled her eyes. Suddenly, a powerful burst of strength broke Anbei Xiaosan's arms. Immediately, he slapped Anbei Xiaosan on the chest, and directly knocked Anbei Xiaosan flying backwards. It fell heavily on the wooden wall in the hut. Anbei Xiaosan, who fell to the ground, suddenly spewed out a big mouthful of blood, and looked at the cat-eared sister in horror. At this time, the cat-eared sister is no longer the animal-eared little girl who was slaughtered just now. Under the moonlight, it has turned into a 2-meter-long white-haired monster with the head of a cat and the body of a wolf. Anbei Xiaosan looked in horror at Beast Niang, who suddenly turned into a white-haired monster. Suddenly frightened limp, even a toothpick turned into soft hair. Roar, pipe exclamation mark quote. The white-haired monster was clearly in a state of rage and bloodlust at this moment. Suddenly jumped up from the bed. He rushed to Anbei Xiaosan at an extremely fast speed. He directly gnawed off the head of Anbei Xiaosan, and the way of death was almost the same as that of Brian. Detected the death of a player in Sakura country. 10 minutes later, a disaster will be randomly generated in the Sakura kingdom. After the disaster is over, players will be selected again to enter the game. At this time, those citizens of Great Britain really understood. Why do they get national luck rewards at night? All the attributes of the nationals of Great Britain +10. Co-author: she is not just a simple kitty, or a bloodthirsty wolf that turns into a bloodthirsty monster at midnight. Seeing this, the people of the British Kingdom applauded. Good. Well done. Avenged Brian directly. Ha 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 ha. You little devil can't imagine that this beast-ear girl will turn into a wolf beast in the middle of the night. If Brian didn't die at this moment, it's probably the same fate. Regardless of whether this will happen or not, even if this Sakura devil dies, our country of Great Britain will not let the Sakura country go. How dare you assassinate our players? Devils wait for death. At the moment, the citizens of the Sakura country have an expression as if they have eaten shong shong. If you say you can't hold it, then you can't hold it. Just kill players from other countries. Now he died in the mouth of this monster with the head of a cat and the body of a wolf. Isn't that pure stupidity? Okay, that's all right now, the disaster is coming again. Nani, why is it a double disaster? Please explain to me upstairs. Are you insane? Even if Anbei Shaosan dies, will the Great Britain Congress let us go? They will definitely retaliate against us. It's over, our Sakura country is really going to be destroyed. God, can you stop choosing any nerds or perverts to participate in the game? A few minutes later, the city of Rochester in Great Britain. People in the streets are panicking over the death of player Brian. They rushed home one after another. But in just 10 minutes, the people who were still running on the street suddenly stopped. He bent down, bared his teeth, and his eyes became red. Begins crawling on all fours, attacking any creature within sight. It looked like a bloodthirsty wild wolf monster. All of a sudden, every corner of the city was stained with scarlet blood. People throughout the city kept attacking the surviving targets. A few minutes later, Sakura Country, Yincheng. The night sky hanging high suddenly sprinkled bursts of weird fluorescence. Fluorescence penetrated the walls of every building and scattered on the trembling cherry blossom national. In the next second, all the citizens of Dabin City watched in horror as their aorta spurted blood. Everyone lost their lives completely within minutes. And what followed, Li Jiao's, was the atomic bomb projected by the British government. And this atomic bomb was hindered by the interception system launched by the Sakura Country official in time. Finally, it landed on the sea less than 40 miles away from Sakura Country Island. The explosion of the atomic bomb triggered a huge tsunami. Instantly destroyed several small towns closest to the sea area, and continued to spread toward the city. The night owl citizens of China looked at the turbulent international situation at the moment, and talked a lot. Sakura Island is probably almost sunk now. How many disasters have it suffered? According to statistics, the number of citizens in Sakura Country has decreased by 2/3. That's great, this is what makes people rich, who made their players either perverts or nerds. Now the countries don't care about anything, as long as your players dare to touch my players, it will be a start. Fortunately, we are Chinese people, with the protection of the Chinese government and the European spirit of God, we will have no worries for thousands of years. Almost a sleepless night. It wasn't until noon that Yumo woke up slowly. Kyle and Shinuekui beside them are still immersed in dreamland. They were nearly out of strength last night, but now they no longer have the strength to wake up. Yumo thoughtfully helped them cover the quilt. He was the first to come out of the bedroom. Xiao Wu and Feng Ju, who got up early in the morning, are now intimately preparing breakfast for Yumo. Night Fury was flying around on the farm outside the castle, waiting for the owner to lead him to start today's exploration. Yumo, who came to the restaurant, noticed that Feng Ju's stomach was the same as Xiao Wu's. Also began to appear a slight bulge. It seems that the time for the two to have children has been greatly reduced by the S-level How to Train Your Dragon Castle. Thinking of having a child as the final stage reward of the National Fortune marriage game. Yumo's heart was full of anticipation. At this moment, Feng Ju looked at Yumo resentfully. Husband, as soon as Sister Kyle and Sister Shinue came, you left me and Xiao Wu in the cold. Yumo was at a loss for words. Ah, ha 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 ha, this. Xiao Wu complained from the side. Oh, that's how men love the new and dislike the old. Feng Ju, we have to get used to it. Yumo smiled helplessly. That's because you're pregnant. I'm afraid of moving your tires. Feng Ju pouted at this moment and said angrily. I don't care, you can only accompany me and Miss Xiao Wu tonight. You have to do the rain and dew evenly. Xiao Wu also yelled at the side. Yes, both rain and dew. At this time, Yumo came over with a smile and hugged the two of them. Okay, I'll accompany you tonight, let's go. While the three of them were fighting and having breakfast. With loose blonde hair and sleepy eyes, Kyle came out of the bedroom with long white legs. Honey, Xiao Wu Fengju, good morning. Although I just complained about Yumo. But the relationship between Xiao Wu, Feng Ju and Kyle is still very good. Sister Kyle, you woke up so soon. Didn't you fight for a long time last night? Come and have breakfast, Kyle, you must be exhausted last night. A happy smile appeared on Kyle's face, and he nodded. And the moment Kyle just took his seat, the prompt CFEC text of the game system is displayed immediately. Congratulations, player, you successfully made your wife Kyle pregnant. You have obtained personal rewards. Angel Body S is upgraded to Angel God Body S plus player's life expectancy is increased by +20, body, strength, agility, intelligence, and charm are increased by +20. Skill increase. Angel Wings S. Washa National Reward. Angel Gift S is upgraded to Angel God Blessing S plus within the territory. All nationals have extra lifespan +4, strength +3, body +3, all national gift buffs, refresh once a month. This national games rewards all Chinese nationals, and those who have no sense of belonging to China, hate China, or intend to betray China cannot enjoy it. Seeing this good news, you and the others were immediately overjoyed. Kyle himself was even more excited and showed a rare laugh. Xiao Wu's two long rabbit ears kept shaking happily. Sister Kyle, welcome to your little one. Feng Ju touched Kyle's stomach. Sister Kyle is so beautiful, how beautiful the baby will be when she is born. Kyle looked at his stomach happily and said, he must be the cutest little angel. At this time, Xin Yuekui also came out of the bedroom exhausted. Seeing that Yu Mo was so happy, he asked, did something happen? Why is everyone so happy? After learning that Kyle was pregnant, Xin Yuekui suddenly said in surprise. So, I'm the only one among all my husband's wives who is not pregnant. No, I won't allow it. Husband, continue tonight. At this moment, Xiao Wu and Feng Ju stood up. No way, Sister Xinyue, we agreed that brother will accompany Feng Ju and me tonight. That's right, Sister Xinyue, give us your husband tonight. Xin Yuekui frowned. Isn't it okay for 4 people? Kyle said angrily. Then just 5 people. Yu Mo suddenly petrified. Seeing that Kyle was pregnant, brought Washa the national luck reward. All the Chinese people are completely cheered up. There is good news early in the morning. Thank you God. Thank you God. Fang Tian painted the halberd. The attribute has been improved again. The lifespan has been increased again. Cool. Oh my God. The gift buff has been refreshed once a month. Doesn't this mean that everyone can have an extra life every month? Then the soldiers we stopped the Sakura Ghost Army last time will have the gift buff again next month. I'm so happy. I have entered China without regret in this life, thanks to our China God Light Yu Mo. All of our Chinese citizens can now be said to be soldiers. The attributes have been improved so much, and we can also summon corroded spirits and gift buffs. Which country dares to provoke me? The citizens of the hostile country directly chose to close the live broadcast at this time, and cursed one after another. Shet, I saw such bad news early in the morning. Fake fake fake. Refresh the gift buff once a month. How can the Washa people with this NM win? Everyone in this family can summon an eclipse, and everyone has an extra life. What a terrible nation. Now in this world, only idiots dare to provoke Washa. Baga, less than 1/3 of the population of our cherry blossom country is left, and the country is about to be destroyed. In the Washa official meeting room, several military leaders had already stood in front of the Great Elder at this time. Great Elder, congratulations, congratulations. That's right, Great Elder, the fighting power of our Washa soldiers is simply unrivaled. Right now, the strengths of Eagle Sauce, Sakura, and Asan are greatly reduced. If we... The Great Elder smiled and shook his head. Our China is a state of etiquette, and we never take the initiative to spread the flames of war to the territory of other countries. And according to the current situation, great turbulence and various conflicts are about to occur in countries all over the world. I understand what you're saying, but don't worry. With Yu Mo's performance in the national match game, we can slowly improve our national strength, and we will become famous when we learn from others. After eating and drinking enough, Yu Mo leisurely took the packed food and brought Yi Fury to the initial plane. After opening the trading panel, as expected, all the food was robbed by players from all over the world. There are a lot of low-level equipment in the storage. Yu Mo hung up the food brought out again, and then began to study the 4 doors refreshed today. Monster Room. Behind the door is a flower and plant demon. Its strength is B+, it cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Monster Room. Behind the door is a group of killer bees, the overall strength is B, cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Monster Room. Behind the door is an ice wild boar king. There is a chance to explode the reward. The overall strength is A+. It cannot be used as food. You can easily defeat it without injury. Monster room. Behind the door is a flaming flying dragon. There is a chance to explode rewards. The overall strength is S. It cannot be used as food. You can easily defeat it without injury. Yumo frowned. This was the first time that all 4 rooms were monster rooms. If you were a player from another country, you would be killed if you entered any room. It seems that my luck is not very good today. But for Yi Fury, it is a very good opportunity to practice. Now that Yi Fury's strength has reached the level of B, if I help it sweep the formation, it will definitely be able to easily defeat these 4 monsters. Night Fury, are you ready? Yumo lowered his head and asked Yi Sha, who was about to try. Yi Furious nodded excitedly, and let out a roar full of fighting intent. Then Yumo took the lead in choosing the weakest killer bee. As soon as the door was opened, Yumo and Yi Sha came to a dense jungle. A very clear, buzzing sound immediately sounded in the distance. Yumo and Yi Sha looked up, and saw a swarm of killer bees that seemed to be coming under heavy pressure. Yumo didn't panic, but said to Yi Sha, "Night Fury, don't fight them in melee, use long-range attacks." "Careful." Yi Fu let out a low growl, signaling that he understood. Then I saw Yi Fu spread his wings and flew towards the murderous bee swarm at the same speed. After closing the distance with the murderous bee swarm, Yi Fiend suddenly opened his mouth. Facing the swarm of killer bees, it suddenly spewed out an ice blue energy breath. It is the skill of Night Fury, Energy Breath. The ice blue energy breath is like a fierce flame from hell. In an instant, the murderous bee colony was completely burned. The powerful power even ignited all the surrounding jungle trees. An ice blue raging fire began to ignite. Yumo, who saw Night Fury using this skill for the first time, was also very satisfied. The strength of Night Fiend is B. This energy breath can reach the power of killing a bee swarm in seconds. In the future, when Night Fiend grows into a Dragon King with SS level strength, the power of this skill must be devastating. The second B+ monster, the Flower and Plant Demon, is easier to deal with. Night Fiend went up to the start and brainlessly used Energy Breath to blast the Flower Demon. The Flower Demon, whose body was made up of flowers, branches and leaves, was burned to death immediately. The 2 monsters directly allowed Yumo to harvest 260 points of origin. And come to the 3rd room to deal with the Ice Wild Boar King, whose strength is A+. At this time, Yumo will not let Yi Fury challenge it at the risk of being injured. After all, the only healing method he currently has is Kyle's Starfall Grace skill. It's better to get less injuries when it's not necessary. At the beginning of the game, Yumo directly cast a flame barrier, directly controlling the Ice Boar King. It is under the roasting of the powerful intelligence attribute and the powerful fire fox flame of the flame enchantment itself. The Ice Wild Boar King, whose strength was only A+, was roasted to the point of sizzling, painfully rampaging in the enchantment. Yumo then commanded Yi Fiend to fly high into the sky, and breathed out bursts of energy at the Ice Wild Boar King. Finally, the Ice Boar King was burned alive in the flame barrier. Harvest 200 source points again. 3 rooms, let Yumo harvest 460 source points. Yi Fury's strength has directly broken through to the level of B+. The citizens of Washa are very excited when they see Yumo pushing pictures so easily and violently. Now those monsters with strengths from B2 are almost all a one-shot advantage. Why did Yu Shen make a move in seconds, but Yu Shen didn't even make a move? Okay. The little pet Yi Fu is enough. I like to see this kind of brainless and violent tweets, and the main word is cool. The Ice Wild Boar King with strength A+, players from other countries will be a dead word when they encounter it. Yu Shen directly treats it as a roast pig and kills it. After all, it has to be our Washa Shengguang. And after the Ice Boar King was killed, a reward was successfully released. Name: Premium Wild Boar. Type: Home Material Card. Quality: A+. Function: players get 40 super wild boar cubs, which can be directly used as food and reproduced. Reminder: special grade wild boar meat can be used as food, which can increase the growth speed of spiritual pets and the potential of the fetus in the womb of the marriage partner. Requirement: the level of the main building home is above S level. Yumo is very happy. can increase the growth speed of Night Fury, and can also enhance the potential of the fetus. This is good stuff. Seeing that Yumo has harvested this home material card again, the Chinese nationals also sell Yuli's European Spirit. 6. Premium Wild Pork. You God and the others are going to change the taste. It's not high-grade Wagyu, it's super wild boar. What kind of life is this? It's too powerful, the effect of this premium wild boar. Yu Shen's wave is taking off again, and this European Qi is extremely explosive in the entire universe. I suspect that in the future, when every baby of Yu God is born, it will be able to directly tear apart an A-level monster. In the game world, satisfied, Yu Mo brought Yi Fu to the last monster room. A flame dragon with a strength. If you let Night Fury, whose strength is B+ at this time, deal with it alone. That Night Fury is absolutely unbeatable. But if it's him, then don't take this flaming dragon into consideration at all. And now that it's a global live broadcast, it's not easy for Yu Mo to directly explain to Yi Fu that he can see the monster prompt behind the door. He could only say one thing to Yi Furen. Yi Fu, the Congress will obey my instructions. The extremely loyal Yi Fu nodded. It had witnessed Yu Mo's terrifying strength. Naturally, he would obediently listen to his master. Pushing open the door, Yu Mo and Yi Fu came to a scorching valley. Not a single blade of grass grew in the valley, and even the ground under his feet and the surrounding stone walls were bright red. There were even bursts of white steam coming out directly. The whole valley is like a furnace-like purgatory. Roar! A dragon chant erupted, and the flame-flying dragon with the strength of S landed in front of Yu Mo and Yi Fu. It exudes raging flames. It is about 10 meters long. It is huge and mighty, and its strong and powerful muscles are shining with a metallic luster in the firelight. The scales on his body looked extremely hard, like forged steel. Each piece exudes the red color of flames, as if its body is a burning tower of flames. There is a row of sharp horns on the top of its head, each of which is shining with fire, like a scorching dagger, which is intimidating. The eyes are a deep red, full of endless ferocity and cruelty. Its wings are wide and powerful, and it can easily lift its huge body, soaring high in the sky, mastering the dominance of the sky. Each wing is composed of emerald-like hot flames, and when it unfolds, it looks like a group of flaming clouds, and the firelight reflects the entire sky, making people dazzled and fascinated. The flame on the tail flickers on and off, sometimes gushes out, and sometimes wraps around the tail, like a weapon that can control both fire and death. Its information is also presented by the game system. Monster. Flame Dragon. Name. Saki. Strength. S. Death. Seeing Saki's strength, the Chinese citizens all expressed their calmness. Che. S. Monster. Yu Shen can handle it easily. The 4 random rooms that Yu Shen explored today are all monster rooms, one is more powerful than the other. It's not a big problem. With Yu Shen's current strength, he can handle it with a wave of his hand. The Frost Wild Boar King with Strength A+ just now got rewards, and this S-Flame Dragon will definitely get better rewards. I can see the violent push pictures of God again, it hurts. At this time, Yu Mo said to Yi Fu beside him. Yi Fu, I'll go up and fight it first. Finally you go up and end it. Yi Sha nodded, obediently lying on the ground. It sensed Sak's mighty power just now. This kind of boss can only let the owner of the bigger boss solve it. Roar. 040. At this time, Saki in midair let out a dragon roar. He took the lead in spraying an extremely thick pillar of flames towards Yu Mo and Yi Fu. Night Fiend, get out of the way. With Yu Mo's order, Yi Fu immediately flapped its wings, bursting out at a very fast speed. Successfully evaded Sak's attack, and Yu Mo also jumped sideways, and dexterously jumped to the other side to avoid it. At this moment, Sax was hovering in the air, his whole body exuded the light of raging flames, forming a powerful flame vortex. I don't know if it is used for defense or to prepare for the next wave of attacks. Yu Mo stands on the edge of the valley and uses the skill, Angel Wings. I saw that after Yu Mo used the angel wings, 2 pairs of wings, one big and one small, grew on his back. The wings are interwoven with flames that radiate holy light, giving Yu Mo the ability to fly. Yu Mo instantly turned into a flying streamer, flew towards the sky, and quickly approached the position of the flame-flying dragon. The dragon's chant echoed, and after the 2 drew closer, Tian summoned his own god Ben Lei Jenden. The Benlei Genshin emitted a powerful arc. Yumo showed no fear on his face, and directly stabbed the Benlei Gendon in his hand towards the flame-flying dragon. Skill: Thunder Fury Dragon Stab. A huge thunder light in the shape of a thunder dragon smashed towards the vortex of flames, pierced the sky, and shrouded the valley in dazzling light. Saki, who was about to launch an attack in the vortex, was stabbed by Yumo's Thunder and Fury Dragon, and let out an extremely painful roar. The flame energy that originally formed the flame vortex dissipated in an instant. Saki, whose left wing was nearly scorched by Yumo, spewed out another powerful pillar of fire at Yumo. But Yumo quickly flapped the flaming wings behind him, and also burst out with extremely powerful speed to easily dodge. And Yumo, who successfully evaded, began to recite the formula, and the Benlei Gendon in his hand also began to emit bursts of spells and symbols. Skill: Erosion Summon. At this moment, Yumo held up the Benlei Gendon in his hand, casting an ancient spell. 10 huge eclipse spirits exuding bright purple were summoned instantly, and a pitch-black beam shot out from the tip of Benlei Genshin's spear, covering Saki in an instant. And the backs of the 10 giant eclipses instantly resembled Yumo's, growing wings capable of flying. Flying directly in front of him, ignoring the high-temperature flames released from Saki's body. Tightly control Saki's wings, limbs, neck, tail and mouth. At this moment, Saki found that he suddenly lost the ability to move, and was completely controlled by the 10 powerful eclipses. Yumo saw the timing and used the last skill, the Curse of Divine Punishment. He uttered a low and powerful incantation, which instantly detonated the spiritual power that had been driven into the Benlei Gendon. A terrifying spiritual force mixed with lightning descended from the sky. Directly and heavily bombarded Saki, who was under control. A powerful suppressing force enveloped the entire valley, suppressing the terrified Sax to death. Originally, Sax tried to use his brute force to break free from the control of these dozens of eclipses. But under the suppression of the Curse of Divine Punishment with great spiritual power, it can no longer move. The power of the God's punishment curse is not only suppressing, but also absorbing. Yumo's body trembled suddenly. In the past 2 minutes, he had absorbed 50% of Saki's attribute power. Yumo felt the surge of power, and his whole body exuded an incomparable momentum. Night Fury. End it with me. Yi Fu, who had been waiting on the ground for a long time, immediately reacted and flew forward. Facing Sake, he suddenly spewed out a mouthful of ice-blue energy breath. And Yumo descended from the sky, turning into a streamer of thunder and flames at an extremely fast speed. With one blow, the Thunder and Anger Dragon Thorn came again. The Thunder Dragon formed by the interweaving of holy light and thunder is accompanied by the high-temperature flames of the wings behind it. Let this attack instantly penetrate Saki's huge head. Boom! Saki's huge body fell heavily from a high altitude, and fell heavily to the ground. Ding! The host kills the monster, and gets the source point plus 300. Yumo put away the Benlei Gendon, and looked at this monster with disdain. And all the Chinese citizens were very excited when they saw this scene. Although they know that with Yumo's current strength, they are not afraid to deal with the 10 loyal monsters. But when they really saw Yumo defeating the Flame Wyvern with such a strong suppressing force, as well as dazzling attacking methods and skills, they still couldn't help but feel extremely excited. Yu Shen is so handsome. I want to give birth to monkeys for Yu Shen. Handsome. So handsome. A series of combo moves directly beat this monster to the point of being defenseless. Yu Shen's new skills are too powerful. Whether it's the summoning of the spirits or the curse of divine punishment, they are simply divine skills. Of course, it is the marriage partner of the descendant of God. With Yu Shen's terrifying fighting power, even if it takes 3 years for a different dimensional civilization to invade, he will definitely be able to protect our Washa. Those citizens who are hostile to the country are also trembling with fright when they see Yumo's explosive performance. Zyba, isn't this Yumo too powerful, directly to tyrannize a monster with power like this? Baga, with him alone, can he sink our Sakura island directly and easily? Fake, this is simply a battle god. It's a god. Players from other countries are nothing. Gift Crab, is this really a battle scene that a player can play? I have to say it's really cool. If you rate this Chinese Yumo, he is at least SSS level, and players from other countries are at most B level. And after killing the flame-flying dragon Saki, he successfully broke out another reward. Name: Refresh card of Advanced Marriage Room. Type: Treasure. Quality: S. Function: after the player uses it, he can immediately refresh a high-end marriage room on his initial plane. Requirement: none. Yumo frowned, didn't he? The god-level wife is here again. See the refresh card of Advanced Marriage Room obtained by Yumo. All Chinese citizens immediately stood up. Refresh card for Advanced Marriage Matching Room. This is too great. I just met Shinuekui, a descendant of the gods yesterday, and another one today. Ha 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 ha, Yu Shen's European spirit is really getting more and more outrageous. Yesterday's National Games rewards kept me awake all night, and this morning Kyle got pregnant again, and now you are telling me that there is another high-end marriage room. Yu Shen, our little hearts really can't take it when you play games like this. Just ask who else is there. Who else is this European chi? And the three views of those foreign devils who are hostile to China have completely collapsed. This Washa kid is the real son of this national fortune matching game, right? I'm convinced, a god-level marriage partner every day. These values are about to rule the world, right? Zyba, is it not enough to have a god-descendant wife? How many more do you want? Fok, how many versions do you want to be ahead of other countries? They haven't even encountered a single A-level monster, so you're going to be the sun god. I've really taken it to 25. 3 years later, the civilization of another dimension will come and let China resist. We don't need us at all. Yumo in the game world is also very excited when he sees the high-end marriage room refresh card in his hand. He looked at his source point, which happened to have just reached 800 points. You can go back to the initial plane to use it first, and then check whether it needs to be refreshed according to the refresh result. Just when Yumo came out from the last monster room. Unlimited refreshing of the qualifications to explore the room, so that 4 new doors appeared immediately around Yumo. Seeing the 4 refreshed doors, TNMI froze for a moment. 3 whites, 1 powder. A matrimonial room. Yumo immediately used the system to check the prompt behind the door. Monster room. Behind the door is an ice zombie. Its strength is B-, it cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Monster room. Behind the door is a skeleton magic dog. Its strength is B-, it cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Resource room. Behind the door is a treasure chest containing skill books, but the quality of the skills will not be too high. 3 random white rooms, without any attraction. Target: marriage room. Residence: I Hoshino. Race: human race. Strength: D+. Characteristics: extremely beautiful girl, idol group C position, rough nerves, carefree, cherry blossom style, unmarried and not pregnant, good at singing and dancing. Appearance value: 104. Taking the public's aesthetics as a reference, the full value is 100, which has broken the rules. Comment: although the strength is average, but the appearance is very good, you take her home, she will take care of the housework every day, and will also perform songs and dances for everyone. Yumo almost blurted out a sentence. I Hoshino. Or I Hoshino who is single and not pregnant. Looking at the features prompted by the system, she has a cherry blossom style, is unmarried and not pregnant, can sing and dance well, and most importantly, can do housework at home. There is also an already broken 104 points of face value. Even if this kind of wife can't fight, but her strength is average, so what? Served by her every day, watching her sing and dance. What is it like to have a celebrity wife? This is the first time Yumo did not use the source point to refresh the marriage room, and it is the best marriage partner he has encountered. Yi Fu, the master has something to do, you go home first. After finishing speaking, Yumo directly summoned his homeland and sent Yi Fu back. Yi Fu was stunned. Whoa, Xiao Wu, Feng Ju and Kyle in the castle. I saw Yi Fu who was suddenly teleported back by Yumo. They all shook their heads, with a smile on their faces. At this time, Shinuekui, who controls the eclipse spirit to clean the castle, asked doubtfully. Sisters, what are you laughing at? The 3 girls replied one after another. Of course it's laughing. Another new sister is about to join us. Husband, this is true and never enough. HMPH, tonight I must teach him a lesson. Yumo immediately pushed open the door of the marriage room. This is the first time that I have not used the system to refresh the marriage room. The feeling for Yumo is also very different. After entering the room, Yumo came to a very Sakura-style apartment. In the deepest room of the apartment, bursts of melodious and moving songs are being heard. You have entered the marriage room, you and the human race, Hoshino I have become husband and wife, please complete the ceremony as soon as possible. Following the melodious singing, Yumo gradually approached and pushed open the door of the room. Hoshino, who was singing with earphones in the room, heard the movement, immediately took off the earphones and turned to look over. Seeing Yumo who suddenly appeared, Hoshino was stunned. In this world, there are such good-looking boys. Yumo's charm attribute has reached 206 points at this time. She has a face like a god, a strong and perfect figure, and a charming temperament all over her body. This made Hoshino ask herself in her heart, is he the husband she has been waiting for? And Yumo saw Hoshino whose appearance score reached an exceptional 104. Also slightly stunned, as expected of a cherry blossom style idol. I saw Hoshino with waist-length purple long hair, and purple eyes with star-like patterns. She is petite, but has an extraordinary beauty, and there is a surprised expression on her incomparably delicate face at the moment. The idol dress on her body is based on red and pink as the main tone. The upper part is divided into 2 layers. The outer layer is embellished with 3 light blue stars, and the inner layer is sleeveless. A heart-shaped ornament with small wings is also worn on the outer yellow collar, and the skirt part is pink, dark pink, and yellow from the inside to the outside. She wears a black belt around her waist, a pair of red gloves on her hands, a pair of bright red over-the-knee boots underneath, and a light yellow rabbit hairpin with a smiling face on the left side of her head, decorated with a red bow. Yumo sighed inwardly. It's too two-dimensional. Interesting. At this time Hoshino finally couldn't help asking. Are you my husband? Yumo nodded and smiled slightly. Yes, love, for keeping you waiting. Hoshino, who was originally carefree, was in front of Yumo at this time. But she was as shy as a little girl meeting a boy for the first time. His face was flushed, and the deer in his heart kept bumping. His breathing also began to become short, and he didn't even know how to face the handsome boy in front of him who didn't know how to describe it. Seeing Hoshino's nervous appearance, Yumo smiled slightly. Love, take it easy. If you don't know what to say, let's just hold the ceremony. Hoshino suddenly said in surprise. This is really okay. It's still the first blood. Yumo smiled, looking at this marriage partner full of strong two-dimensional atmosphere. And thinking about the performance of the heroine in the things that shouldn't be seen in the previous life. In the next second, Washa's live broadcast room fell into darkness. The Chinese citizens who witnessed this scene were immediately fell in love with Hoshino's beauty. There are such good-looking cherry blossom girls in this world, it's so exciting. It's too powerful, this is a pure human race. Although we are disgusted by Sakura ghosts, we will not refuse such a beautiful Sakura daughter-in-law. Now Yu Shen should have heard about all kinds of daddies, yayadi. Upstairs, you are the one in the legend. Such a beautiful face, and such a beautiful singing voice, Yu Shen is probably going to roll his eyes now. And the most explosive ones are the cherry blossom citizens. The image of Hoshino is exactly the cute image that Sakura men dream of. If yesterday's cat-eared sister is a star, then Hoshino is the entire universe. There is no comparison at all. The most important thing is that Hoshino is still a pure human race, an out-and-out human being. Every cherry blossom woman is famous for her thoughtfulness. Now seeing the Ocean of China, unexpectedly met a foreign woman with such a beautiful appearance. Their back molars are gnashing with envy. Baga, this Hoshino should belong to our Sakura country. Why did the Chinese meet her? The hatred of taking a wife is irreconcilable. I hate this Chinese man to death. In the thousands of years of our cherry blossom country, there has never been such a good-looking woman, and a Chinese person cut off her beard. Is there any mistake in this game? Such a beautiful cherry blossom woman does not belong to our cherry blossom country. Such a sweet face, such a beautiful singing voice, and such a small figure, She is simply my goddess, but she is currently performing a ceremony. 3 hours later, under Hoshino's crying plea. Yu Mo reluctantly stopped his ritual action. I have to say, listening to Hoshino Love's melodious godfather and Yadai. Feel her small but flexible body. Look at her beautiful delicate face. And most importantly, she obeyed Yu Mo during the ceremony. No matter what she asks, she can satisfy her husband Yu Mo. This kind of experience is no less than that of his 4 wives. After Yu Mo and Hoshino arranged their clothes, the live broadcast screen reopened. And the text broadcast of the game system also follows. Congratulations to the player for completing the ceremony. Player's personal reward. Appearance improvement D+, player life +3, body, strength, agility, intelligence +2, charm +30. Acquired skills. None. Reward for Chinese nationals. Permanent appearance D+ within the territory of the country, all nationals life expectancy +1, charm +15. The faces of all Chinese nationals will stop at this moment for 20 years, and aging will begin to appear after 20 years. This national games rewards all Huasha citizens, and those who have no sense of belonging to Huasha, hate China, and intend to betray China can accept it. Yu Mo smiled. Hoshino I's strength is D+, so naturally he can get such a reward. Although there is no improvement in combat effectiveness, both myself and the Chinese citizens have become better looking. Not for nothing, but the citizens of Huasha are very satisfied with this National Games Award. Oh my God, it will take 10 years for the face to stay in the earth before it starts to age. Thank you God for finding my sister-in-law Xiaoai. This national fortune reward is really useful. The charm attribute has been directly increased by 15 points, and now everyone is a god and goddess. I'm only 20 years old this year. When I was 40, I still looked like 20. I'm so happy. Thank you little sister-in-law, woo woo woo, thank you God. In the game world, Yu Mo brought Hoshino back to her original home. As soon as Night Fiend heard the noise, he rushed out from the attic of the castle. Immediately flew in front of Yu Mo. Ah! Hoshino screamed in fright, and quickly hid behind Tian. Yu Mo touched Hoshino I's head with a smile and said with a smile. Xiao Ai, don't be afraid, this is our pet, it's called Yi Fu. Although it is a dragon with strong fighting power, it is absolutely loyal and docile to us. After listening to Yu Mo's words, Hoshino I dared to poke her head out and look at Yi Fu. After discovering that Night Fiend is really well behaved and looks very cute, Li Min began to pick up Yi Fury. Ah, what a cute little black dragon. My husband, I really like Yi Fury. At this time, the 4 wives also came out to welcome the new sisters to join. Xiao Wu and the others were taken aback when they saw Hoshino, who was so sweet that she looked so sweet. Why does my husband bring back more beautiful wives now? Hoshino was startled when she saw the 4 beautiful women in front of her, but she immediately bowed to them politely and said, Hello 4 sisters, my name is Hoshino I, you can call me Xiao Ai. From today, Xiao Ai will serve my sisters well. Seeing Hoshino I's way of greeting, the sisters laughed and said, Such a cute little sister, brother, you are so lucky. Don't worry, little love, we sisters have a very good relationship. Quote. Welcome. Oh, what a cute little sister, we just need to serve my husband together. Hoshino I did not expect 4 beautiful sisters with different temperaments to be so friendly to her. Immediately very consciously took Fengju and Xiao Wu's hands. Sisters, I'm hungry, is there anything to eat at home? Have you eaten, do you want to taste my craft? Then the 5 wives walked towards the castle on their own. Yu Mo, who was in a daze, and Yi Fu, who didn't know what happened, were left behind. Yu Mo smiled helplessly, and followed Yi Sha along with him. I have to say that the considerate and capable Hoshino I really has 2 talents. With the same ingredients, she made a completely different Sakura-style cuisine. Everyone who ate Sakura-style cuisine for the first time was full of praise for Xiao Ai's craftsmanship. After eating, Hoshino immediately cleaned up the huge castle. If Shinuekui hadn't released her eclipse spirit, it would have startled Hoshino. Maybe the silly little love really has to clean every corner of the big castle Nuoma Jiao. Seeing that the 4 sisters were a little bored, the lively little love called everyone together again. With his beautiful voice, he sang a song for everyone and won rounds of applause. The addition of Xiao Ai made the atmosphere in the castle very lively. Yu Mo watched all this with satisfaction, then got up and left Yi. I am about to use my advanced marriage room refresh card. Looking at the active atmosphere in the castle and Xiao Ai's performance, the Chinese citizens praised. Well, it's better to be the Sakura woman. I dare not do this even in my dreams. There is such a considerate wife in the world. Yu Mo is so lucky. I'm so envious. Although my wife has become super beautiful now, she still likes to make me kneel on the washboard. Woo, no harm, I was just beaten up by my wife. Yu Mo, who returned to the initial plane, directly pushed the door in and killed 2 monsters with strength B. Harvest 130 source points, and now my source point has reached 930 points. It is enough to use the dimensional template system to refresh the marriage partner behind the advanced marriage door. As for the remaining resource room, it's just a skill of average quality. What Yu Mo lacks most is skills. So Yu Mo took out the advanced marriage room refresh card and chose to refresh this room. After the refresh is successful, sure enough, a red door representing a high-end marriage room appeared in front of Yu Mo's eyes. I saw that Yu Mo had just adopted Hoshino Ai, who fascinated thousands of otaku. Now a high-end marriage room is ushered in immediately. The Chinese citizens couldn't help but admire. Yu Shen's physical strength is really strong. I just fought with Xiao Ai for 3 hours in the morning. I went home to rest and came again. And this time, I'm directly challenging the high-end marriage room to find a new god-descendant wife. If this high-end marriage room is also offered by Yu Shen with a good marriage partner, Yu Shen will have 3 wives in 2 days. This is too cruel. Pay attention to your body. The physique of a real man in God is beyond the imagination of mortals. In the game world, the information of this high-end marriage room also appeared in front of Yu Mo immediately. Target: Senior Marriage Room. Residence: Medea. Race: Deity Necromancer. Strength: SS+. Features: insanity, jealousy, powerful magic, psychopathy, blood, brutality, selfishness. Appearance value: 70. Based on the public's aesthetics, the full value is 100. Comment: the granddaughter of Helios, the god of the sun. She has learned necromancer magic since she was a child. She has a perverted paranoid about love. If you become a husband and wife with her, she will kill your wife and children out of jealousy. Trial difficulty: comprehensive host's own situation, understanding and discussion. Yu Mo gasped. Not to mention the difficulty of this trial is full of discussions. According to my current situation, I have 5 wives and 3 unborn children. If he becomes a husband and wife with this Medea, his wife and children will suffer revenge from this terrifying woman. Fortunately, I have enough source points, otherwise I would have to give up the opportunity of this high-end marriage room. Who dares to provoke such a terrifying object? Let's rot behind the door for the rest of our lives. Yu Mo immediately said silently in his heart. System: refresh. Ding. The host chooses to refresh the marriage partner, consuming 800 source points. The system is refreshed immediately. 1000-dimensional template refresh completed. The source point is only more than 100 points left. Yu Mo sighed helplessly. And when the system prompts that the refresh is successful, a string of text reappears in the marriage room in front of Yu Mo's eyes. Target: Senior Marriage Room. Residency: Princess Mimin Ryoko. Race: Alien. Strength: SS. Characteristics: superb medical skills, can be saved as long as you don't die, teacher, broad-minded, underground doctor. Appearance value: 102. Based on the public's aesthetics, the full value is 100, which is an exception. Comment: the anime dimension comes from an alien cosmos doctor, whose treatment technology is the best in the universe, and is definitely a very suitable match for you. Trial difficulty: comprehensive host's own situation. Yu Mo almost couldn't control his expression. Another Sakura-flavored marriage partner. And a teacher doctor. Could it be that I stabbed the nest of the beauty Sakura today? But today I just experienced the cuteness of Xiao Ai. How can Yu Mo refuse the second cherry blossom flavor? Yu Mo immediately pushed open the red door and walked in. Seeing that Yu Mo seems to be hesitating, all Chinese citizens also began to get nervous. God bless, I hope Yu Shen's Uhuang physique can continue to show its power. No, CFEG will encounter some difficult strange species this time, right? After all, this is a high-end marriage room. Don't panic, even if you encounter some strange species, but Yu Shen's strength is there, are you afraid you can't beat it? That is, we must trust in God. But today Yu Shendu accepted such a lovely marriage partner as Hoshino I. Can this partner maintain European spirit again? Don't be crow-mouthed upstairs, please. All the devils who are hostile to China also jumped out again at this time. This time, Washa must make a devilish marriage partner. Yes, it's best to use that kind of SSS-level demon object, just kill this Chinese man directly. Today, this Washa man has already produced a very beautiful wife. I don't believe he can drive 2 in a row. Ochi will run out one day, right? I curse this Chinese man. Baga, I'm still immersed in the pain of him accepting Hoshino, this time he must have met a Godzilla. Mother. In the game world, Yumo pushed open the door. Immediately came to a classroom. There is no one in the classroom, only neatly arranged desks and chairs. Suddenly there was the sound of high heels, and the door of the classroom was pushed open. It was reflected in the eyes of Yumo and hundreds of millions of citizens watching the live broadcast. She is a woman with a charming face and a perfect S-shaped figure. Her skin is fair and delicate, as pure as the first snow. Her eyes are bright and energetic, like the deep starry sky, revealing a trace of intelligence and charm. The slender eyelashes trembled slightly, as if countless stories were jumping in her eyes. Her figure is graceful and plump, which is irresistible. Her exquisite figure and elegant demeanor make her exude a natural charm. Under her petite body, those striking curves are even more alluring. She was wearing a pink top, revealing a touch of sweetness and cuteness, which brought out her charming temperament. The black stockings outline her slender legs, making her legs look more slender and charming. Every step exudes an air of confidence and pride. When she held a textbook in her hand, her fingertips were slender and delicate, exuding a warm feeling. The moment she came to the classroom, she was attracted by Yumo's extremely handsome appearance and demeanor. But she still managed to maintain her composure at the moment, and said with a smile to Yumo. Hi student, I am your teacher, Mimin Ryoko. The first time I saw you, I knew you had passed the first test. Now, are you ready to start the second level assessment? Seeing the appearance of Yumun Ryoko, all Chinese citizens were shocked again. What the hell? Another Sakura object. This, a proper teacher, Sakura Yumi. It's so beautiful, it's so big. Did Yu Shen poke the nest of Sakura's partner today? Another one. Yu Shen not only stabbed the nest of Sakura's partner, but also stabbed Sakura's partner. 6666 upstairs. It's so beautiful, the beauty of this female teacher is not inferior to this morning's little love. Sure enough, Yu Shen passed the first level again, look at his face. The cherry blossom nationals collapsed directly. Baga, aren't you? Another one. And this is a god-level marriage partner. Why should our goddess of Sakura become the wife of this Chinese man? It's not fair, she is obviously a Sakura goddess. She should belong to us Sakura players. But is this female teacher really a god-level object? No matter how you look at it, she is just a teacher. Does it matter? You don't see her face. You don't see her big. In the game world, Yuhei smiled slightly. I'm ready to accept the second trial, teacher. Hearing Yumo sweetly calling himself a teacher, Mimin Ryoko smiled, the ups and downs of her chest didn't stop. Hee, your little mouth is so sweet. Yumo laughed while the iron was hot. Wait a while and taste the sweetness. Mimin Ryoko's face was instantly stained with a blush. Such provocative words were actually innocuous to her. But to see who said this to her. Ryoko Maido took a deep breath, and then said to Yumo. The second test, test your body. Yumo frowned. Oh, teacher, you want to check me up. So nervous, so excited, so looking forward. Mimin-chan, are we going to be in this classroom? Mimin Ryoko couldn't help laughing and cursing. Not the kind of physical exam you think. You have to be prepared. Yumo's offensive wave after wave directly made Yumun Ryoko want to stop. The dew that wet the grass gradually appeared in the dry grass. If it is not enforced by the game settings, now Ryoko Maido has. Seeing this, Yumo didn't continue to say hello anymore, and withdrew his playful expression, nodded seriously and said. Bring it on. Mimin Ryoko nodded, and then thought about it. Suddenly, a transparent, dark purple evil ghost appeared on the blackboard in the classroom. A rising dark purple aura exudes from the evil ghost's body, and it gradually leans towards the stem. And Mimin Ryoko also said at this time, the second test is to see if you can survive the poison. Live 2 minutes, and you can't use any skills as defense. If it is detected that you have used any of the skills, the trial will fail. Although Yumo didn't have any expression on his face, he was secretly surprised. This little girl wants to make herself anti-drug. Still can't use any skills as defense. What if you really poison yourself to death? But until now, there is nothing I can do. Thinking that the trial difficulty just prompted by the system is only 1 star. Yumo immediately sat upright, allowing the evil ghost exuding a strange aura to blend into his body. And when the poisonous ghost merged into Yumo's body, Yumo immediately felt that his body's functions began to be disordered, and the muscles like steel all over his body began to ache. The 5 viscera and 6 internal organs suddenly seemed to be distorted, and the pain was unbearable. But in order to pass the test, Yumo still gritted his teeth and sat with a posture as steady as Mount Tai. But Yumo's appearance after being poisoned cannot deceive anyone. Now Yumo's face began to emit a faint dark purple-black mist. The entire person's face lost all blood in an instant, and the originally rosy thin lips became even paler at this moment. Yumo quietly felt the changes in his body brought about by the poison. At the same time, use your own will to fight against it desperately. I didn't expect that the physical examination that Ryoko Yumun said would be such a torture method. Fortunately, Yumo's body attribute has reached 263 points at this time. In a digital way, Yumo's current blood volume, physical defense, and magic defense have reached a very high level. Although the poison is constantly eating away at Yumo's body. But Yumo's own huge blood volume cannot be eaten within 2 minutes of this poisonous poison. Coupled with Yumo's super strong magic defense, it weakened the power of this poison even more. But the hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens watching the live broadcast did not know the situation at this time. Seeing that Yumo was poisoned, everyone was as anxious as ants on a hot pot. Oh, Yu Shen's face has become so ugly, there is no blood left. Isn't this cherry blossom girl uneasy and kind, and just let Yu Shen resist the poison? And it's highly poisonous. Yu Shen won't be poisoned to death. If Yu Shen is so useless and poisoned to death, it would be really aggrieved. You God, hold on. Seeing Yumo's poisonous state and performance at the moment, those foreign devils cheered happily. Ha 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 ha, China is finally coming to an end. It's finally the day. Resist poison without injury. How is it possible? No matter how strong he is, he can't resist the poison of this woman. Yoshi. As expected, she is our Sakura woman. Well done. Look at his whole face has turned pale. The poisonous mist emanating from his body is very powerful at first glance. Ha 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 ha, who would have thought that Washa's Hangbi would be poisoned to death by such a grieve? Even in the Washa official meeting room at this time, everyone was a little flustered. Oops, oh, Tian Dan won't be able to make it through, right? Yumo, it's not worth it for a woman. Forget it. If China loses such a European emperor as Yumo, what a terrible thing it will be. I believe Yumo. He will definitely survive. Come on. The great elder frowned, his hands were already sweating coldly due to nervousness. The value of Yumo to Washa is immeasurable. If you are really poisoned to death by the marriage partner in front of you, then China's overall national strength will definitely suffer great losses. In the game world, although 2 minutes is just a blink of an eye. But at this moment, Yumo felt that the time passed was extremely long. I rely entirely on my own will and my own physical attributes. Confront this powerful, poisonous madness. As the time passed by every minute and every second, Yumo was still gritting his teeth and insisting on 0. Chapter 91. At this time, Yumo was already trembling and in severe pain. Ryoko Yudo, who was standing on the podium, also showed admiration at this time. Very surprised by Yumo's strong physical attributes and personal will. Finally, at the end of the countdown moment, Ryoko Mido raised her right hand. A mass of emerald green light was emitted, and the energy full of vitality exploded suddenly. Energy light clusters poured into Yumo's body continuously. Instantly dispelled all the poison in Yumo's body. Forehead. Yumo, who was resistant to the poison, felt the pain disappear at this moment. The tense body suddenly relaxed at this moment, holding the desk in front of him with one arm, panting heavily. Seeing this, Mimin Ryoko spread her hands out again. Using its own magic, it mobilized two groups of more dazzling emerald energy. Then injected into Yumo's body. Yumo only felt that his blood volume was recovering rapidly, and the pain in his 540 body disappeared in an instant. The whole body has returned to its peak state of health. Seeing that Yumo finally got over it and returned to full status at this time, all the Chinese citizens took a sigh of relief. Ha, scared me to death. I thought Yu Shen was going to disappear. It's okay, this cherry blossom partner didn't really want to poison Yu Shen to death. Yu Shen is still cow beer, and he was so strong that he endured the poison for 2 minutes. Of course, Yu Shen's physical attributes are so strong, he will definitely be able to survive. This god-level object is quite exquisite, and it seems that Yu Shen has been cured. Could it be that the ability of this marriage partner is healing? And those devils who are hostile to China are angrily cursing. Fact, is this woman stupid? Why don't you just poison him? Zaiba, I thought this Chinese man was going to die, you woman rescued him. Gift crab, this Washa person can actually carry it alive, it's so fierce. Baga, he really is another traitor to our Sakura. Why did you save him? Let this Washa kid survive again. How angry. In the game world, Yumo, who had fully recovered, was also shocked by Mido Ryoko's powerful strength. Relying on his blood volume and magic defense, he fought against the poison for 2 full minutes. Although there is still part of his blood volume remaining, it is also a huge consumption. But Mimin Ryoko only made 1 shot. His blood volume and health were restored to their peak state. This shows how amazing Mimin Ryoko's healing ability is. At this time, Mimin Ryoko walked up to Yumo and bowed slightly to Yumo. I'm sorry, this is a part of the trial assessment, which made you suffer. Sitting Yumo, his eyes just fell on the ravine that Yumin Ryoko showed when he bowed. Yumo swallowed, it's so big. His wife estimated that only Shinuekui could compete with Yumin Ryoko. Other Xiao Wu, Feng Ju, Kyle and Xiao Ai. This aspect is lower than theirs. Of course, Weedy likes Yumo all the time. Can't put it down like it. Yumo smiled slightly. Fortunately, I am very capable, otherwise I would have been poisoned to death by you, teacher. Ryoko Mimin, who raised her head, smiled sweetly. Indeed, I knew you were very capable. The next step is the third trial. Yumo asked. The third trial, what is it? Yumin Ryoko's eyes fluttered, and she looked at the handsome and extraordinary Zemo with tenderness in her eyes. The third test is that you can make me fall in love with you completely. So, you pass now. Yumo was taken aback. Clam. Mimin Ryoko said shyly. Don't underestimate this third trial, it sounds simple but in fact it is very difficult. Think about it, if you're not attractive enough to me, or if I don't call you at all. No matter how hard you try, you won't be able to complete this third trial. Indeed, if it wasn't Yuhei who came in. Change to players from other countries, even if they have the attributes and strength of Yumo. After passing the first level and the second level, if personal temperament or trial performance can't make Mimin Ryoko's heart beat, players from other countries really have nothing to do with this third trial. And Yumo finally understood why Mimin Ryoko's trial difficulty was only 1 star. Co-authoring herself is her dish. Yumo nodded thoughtfully. That's exactly what you said. Sure enough, my personality charm is worthy of recognition. Ryoko Yumin burst out laughing. The first time I saw you, I was shocked by your appearance, temperament, and humorous personality. Tested your strength, your performance is so amazing. How can I not fall in love with you? So, you passed the trial of the third level. At this time, the prompt of the game system is also displayed in text. Congratulations player, you and Mimin Ryoko have become husband and wife. Please complete the ceremony as soon as possible. Yumo stood up slowly, and said to Mimin Ryoko. Teacher, you tortured me too badly just now. You have to make it up to me. A trace of guilt flashed across Mimin Ryoko's face. I'm sorry, man, but this is part of the trial. Yumo smiled slightly. Ha 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 ha, little fool, I didn't really blame you. And your healing ability is so strong, you cured me directly. The expression on Mimin Ryoko's face flashed a few traces of complacency. Of course, I'm the most powerful doctor in the universe. Yumo's expression became evil. Then teacher, you, the most powerful doctor in the universe, help me cure my illness. Mimin Ryoko asked strangely, what's wrong with you? Yumo smiled slightly, and directly summoned Feng Tian to draw a halberd. Start fighting. The screen in the live broadcast room immediately turned into darkness a second ago. Seeing this, all the Chinese citizens are boiling. Outrageous, simply outrageous. Is the trial completed? I can only swipe countless 666, and Yu Shen passed the test with his own charm. Perhaps people will fall for Yu Shen at the first sight, and the trial is just a formality. Which woman doesn't go crazy when she sees Yu Shen? Yu Shen's face is simply the #1 male succubus in the world. Strong, it's really too strong. In less than 48 hours, 3 beautiful wives who are as beautiful as heaven are in the bag. I'm so envious of you. Yumo. Those devils completely vomited blood. It's coming again. It's coming again. He has won another high-end marriage partner. I'm convinced, this third trial is a display. Just fell in love with him. Zaiba, don't tell me, if you let any Ah-san or Tai Guolao take part in this third test, they will not pass the trial. Oh hey, how can you fools say that about our titanium country silver? Baga, is our cherry blossom goddess going to be harvested by this Chinese? I'm so angry. Everyone in the Washa official meeting room also let out a long sigh of relief. I was scared to death, but fortunately Yushi is fine. That's right, I thought he was going to be poisoned to death just now. It seems that this Sakura daughter-in-law is still available, and she will be cured immediately. I got 2 daughters-in-law with cherry blossom flavor all at once. Yumo is amazing. And just when the live broadcast of Washa became dark, the citizens of Washa immediately lost the most important daily fun again. Everyone knew that they would have to wait for more than 4 hours. Then I began to look through the live broadcasts of other countries boringly. Soon, tens of millions of citizens froze on Tao's live broadcast. Is this shemale still alive? How did he become uglier and more disgusting? I haven't seen him for 2 days, but his strength seems to have become stronger. It's that pervert who sculpts earthworms, or makes earthworms sculpt him. That's him. The bow in his hand looks amazing. It is said that he already has a second marriage partner. Is it a bullfrog covered in bruises? In the game world, Tao country player Gripa just woke up and came to his initial plane with his equipment. Gripa's exploration experience in the past 2 days, although it can't be like opening a plug-in, soaring into the sky. But it can also be called smooth sailing. During these 2 days, Gripa took his earthworm queen to explore during the day, harvest resources and obtain food. At night, we worked together to resist hordes of night attack monsters, and the fields were busy. But during the exploration of the 8 rooms in these 2 days, in addition to enough food and water, Gripa also harvested a phosphorus fire bow of quality B. Cooperate with your original fire control skills. Let him release the powerful phosphorus rocket without any arrows. With this phosphorus fire bow, Gripa's exploration will be smoother. I also found a pair of C+ quality boots to make myself more dexterous. And a melee skill with a quality of C+. The biggest achievement is that Gripa met a marriage room. The marriage partner is a sea bullfrog girl. Although the appearance of the little bullfrog is very disgusting, the strength is not strong. But Gripa couldn't stand being attacked by those terrifying night attack monsters in the past few days. Marrying with the object behind the marriage door is the core gameplay of this national fortune matching game. Gripa simply held a ceremony with the bullfrog girl without doing anything else. Gripa receives personal rewards. Bullfrog Julie, C, player life +5, body +5, strength +10, charm -13. Acquired skill, bullfrog kick. Looking at his suddenly ugly face, Gripa had a breakdown at the time, punching and kicking the little bullfrog. In addition, she is a woman I don't like, so she won't be given food after the beating. If the Earthworm Queen hadn't stopped in time, Gripa would have tortured the little bullfrog to death within a day. What a disgusting domestic violence man. And the national luck rewards received by Titanium are amphibians. Within the national territory, all nationals have lifespan +2, strength +7, and charm -10. Every Tao national has gills that can breathe in water, and Tao nationals can breathe in water. After all, Tao nationals get this basically useless national games reward. Tens of thousands of Tao citizens have chosen to commit suicide. It's okay because the face becomes ugly again. Now they even let their bodies grow a gill that can breathe in water. Become a monster who is neither human nor ghost. How can they accept it? So at this time, Gripa was very unhappy, and he simply started exploring by himself. Although his appearance has become very ugly now, his strength has improved a lot. He felt that he no longer needed the Earthworm Queen's great assistance. Sure enough, Gripa directly entered the 4 white random rooms with the phosphorus fire bow in his hand. In the first monster room, Gripa directly shot and killed a Venetian squirrel with a strength of D+, and slipped it back for food. The second empty room, nothing. In the third resource room, Gripa found a piece of leather armor with a quality of C+ and attributes suitable for him, and directly chose Chengshang. But in the fourth resource room, Gripa unexpectedly encountered a boss monster whose strength was B. P.S. Boss monsters are special monsters, each level of strength has its own boss monster, not limited to strength. What everyone didn't expect was that Gripa, a sissy and transvestite, was extremely fierce in battle. I saw him constantly bowing and pulling the string, and at the same time releasing his skill fire control. Facing the boss monster is to shoot a flaming rocket. At the same time, with the equipment on his body, he avoided the attacks of the boss monsters in an extremely dexterous way. Finally resorted to a bullfrog kick. Finally killed this boss whose strength was B. Unlock the achievement of killing the boss, and have unlimited exploration qualifications. He also obtained a spiritual wristband, which increased his intelligence attribute by 13 points. But at the same time, Gripa also suffered some minor injuries. After walking out of the boss room, he watched the 4 random doors refresh. He decided to go back to his homeland to take a good rest for a while, and then continue exploring after the wound was treated. The onlookers of the Washa people looked at Gripa's skill and were slightly surprised. The strength of this Tao Shemale is quite good. Although it is completely incomparable with Yu Shen, it is still several times ahead of players from other countries. This phosphorus fire bow is a perfect match with his skills, it's so powerful. He can defeat the bosses of B, his strength should not be underestimated. Quote, it's useless to be strong. 2 days ago, he carved a bullfrog, causing gills to grow on the bodies of all the Tao people, and many Tao people committed suicide. I can't understand the operation of this perverted ladyboy. After Gripa, who was carrying the squirrel, returned home. I kicked the bullfrog girl first, and then asked her to handle the ingredients. Then he began to bandage the wound on his own. When Gripa was resting, he suddenly heard a movement outside his house. Earthworm Queen. Dolly rushed out of the room immediately and immediately entered a state of vigilance. Only 2 voices sounded at the same time outside the door. Gift crab. Such a big earthworm. Zyba, be careful. When Gripa heard this, he immediately became excited. Man's voice. Why is there a man's voice in my own home? Gripa immediately rushed out excitedly. Seeing outside his hut, there was an ugly-looking Nige with a long sword. And a white and clean Asian man holding a simple knife. It was Durant and Lee who were teleported here with the plane shuttle. They just finished exploring the 8 random rooms, and now they can only use the plane shuttle alliance to find new targets. Unexpectedly, it was teleported to Gripa, the country of Tao. Seeing Gripa's face, Li Bingxian reacted immediately. Gripa. As a citizen of Bengxi Kingdom, Li Bingxian naturally remembered it. When he met this big earthworm in front of him, the former stick player Pu Yidian was directly killed by it. While Gripa watched coldly from the side, Bijingpu had no kunkan at all. Not as powerful as hermaphroditic earthworms. Now the 2 players meet again. Is this the fate of the Tao Kingdom and the Bengxi Kingdom? At this time, Gripa looked at the strong Nije and Li Bingxian in front of him. Greedy saliva flowed directly. After all, he hasn't been nourished by a man for several days. The wretched expression and the temperament of the ladyboy. Durant felt disgusted directly. Brother, do you know this man? Li Bing nodded first and said, this person is a dead fellow. He previously forced our players from Bengxi Kingdom to have love with him. In the end, our player was killed because of this earthworm. Hearing what Li Bingxian said, Durant immediately frowned. Ah, so exaggerated. So is he strong? Li Bing first looked at the equipment on Gripa's body and the fire bean in his hand. Immediately, he said with some horror. It is estimated that neither of us is his opponent. Durant suddenly turned pale with shock. Ah, then what should we do? Run. Li Bing nodded first, took out the plane shuttle and wanted to shuttle back. But the moment he took out the plane shuttle, Earthworm Queen, Dolly, who thought he was about to launch an attack, stood up immediately. Then fell heavily to the ground. A seismic wave directly hit Li Bingxian and Durant. The two who had no time to react were immediately knocked to the ground by the powerful seismic wave. The plane shuttle in Li Bingxian's hand also came out. Dolly, don't kill them. Gripa yelled. This stopped the Earthworm Queen who was about to attack. Gripa frowned, and immediately raised his phosphorescent bow. Several rockets were shot, and Li Bingxian and Durant came with a human body stroke. The actions of the two were blocked. The two were so frightened that they didn't dare to make any more moves. Gripa stepped forward and picked up the plane shuttle on the ground. Immediately exclaimed in surprise, "Oh hey, it turned out to be a treasure." Then Gripa showed a smirk. You two little rascals are the people from Bashang who use this thing to harm players from other countries. You guys are so bad, I like it so much. Then Gripa walked towards them, bent down to them and asked. Now I give you two choices. 1. Hand over this treasure to me, and from today onwards, you will hang out with me, and with my strength, I can make you stronger quickly. I promise you that I will divide the resources among you fairly, and if there is any marriage room, I will give it to you. As for how to use this plane shuttle, you have to listen to me. The condition is that you two must live with me from today on. 2nd, reject me, this treasure is still mine, and then I will kill you immediately. It is a familiar formula and a familiar taste. Li Bingxian cursed this plane shuttle 10,000 times in his heart. Why did he bring himself into this perverted homeland of Tao? At this time, Durant, who had witnessed Gripa's strength, was trembling with fright. And the country of Yingjiang is a very open country. Durant immediately nodded and said, well, I promise. Gripa smiled triumphantly, then turned to look at Li Bingxian. How about you? Although Li Bingxian was furious, he thought of his own life. Still can only bow his head and say, I agree too. The Earthworm Queen on the side looked at this scene vigorously, and tactfully went back to the ground again. Gripa removed the flaming rocket that was controlling the two and helped them up. When Gripa's hand touched the two's arms, there was a burst of pain in the arms of the two, as if their arms were about to be pinched and broken in the next second. Gripa smiled charmingly and said, two little babies, listen to me. I just killed a boss today and unlocked the achievement of killing the boss. So starting today, the two of you follow me and you can explore the room without limit. No longer have to worry about insufficient resources or being unable to defeat the monsters behind the door. Li Bingxian and Durant gasped inwardly. Fortunately, he didn't fight Gripa desperately just now. This person can actually kill a boss monster. This kind of terrifying strength, even if you have a different heart, you can't do anything about it. Impatiently, Gripa dragged Li Bingxian and Durant to his hut. They simply ignored the two with extremely ugly expressions at this time. After returning to the hut, Gripa kicked the bullfrog sister who had just prepared food out of the hut. Then Li Bingxian and Durant were entertained with food. Although the two knew that they were about to face the end of chrysanthemums all over the ground. But looking at the fragrant food on the table, the two still don't care so much. Let's talk when they are full. Then there were screams in the hut. The citizens of Huasha, Yingjiang, Titanium, and Banxi watched this scene. They all fell into their own silence. Chinese nationals. This Gripa's tricks are exactly the same, and he has won two male favorites again. This pervert is really disgusting, it makes me uncomfortable to see. It's amazing that you don't even let Brother Ni go, but Brother Ni is really true. The chrysanthemum remains, the ground is full of injuries, your smile has turned yellow. Big brother, stick is small, Gripa just compliments each other. Ha 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 ha, 666 upstairs. Eagle Sauce National. Fuck, this slave has succumbed to a fellow. Disgusting. So I've already said, hey people should just disappear from this world. Upstairs, you bloody racist. Fake, do it if you don't accept it. You workers are disgusting, don't you know it yourself? A thing that does all kinds of evil. Gift crab, this man is really willing to treat this yellow-skinned monkey. For the money. Stick national, Yi Yishi, why do players from our Banksy kingdom encounter this dead boss wherever they go? Zaiba, I really can't stand this dead fellow, the chrysanthemums of the two oppas have been destroyed by him. Who made this Li Bingxian always run around with a hey guy, he deserves it. Delay. Before we were hit by an atomic bomb from Maoshang country, how many citizens died, he is the sinner of our Banksy country. Tao nationals, oh, when will this pervert, Gripa, be sanctioned by the Buddha? It's disgusting, even such a strong black man. What a beast. This Gripa's perversion is no less than that group of Asans who just have a hole. The players in Banksy Kingdom are really hard-pressed, no matter what, they can meet Gripa, a pervert. Before I knew it, 4 hours had passed. Yumo's live broadcast was finally restored. The classroom is in a mess, which shows that a fierce battle has just taken place here. Yumo looked at Mim and Ryoko, who was subdued by him at this time. His eyes were filled with the satisfaction of victory. And Ryoko Yudo's combat performance really surprised Yumo. Unexpectedly, this teacher is proficient in all 18 martial arts. Coupled with his unique attainments in physiological structure, almost lost Yumo's dominance in the fight. At this time, the game system also displays the rewards Yumo received for completing the ceremony. Congratulations to the player for completing the ceremony. Player's personal reward. God Divine Healing Body SS Player Life plus 40, Body plus 60, Strength, Sensitivity, Intelligence, Charm plus 40. Acquired skills. Star Healing SS Holy Light Shrouding 55. Chinese National Reward. Holy Healing Physique SS within the scope of the country, all nationals have a lifespan of plus 6, Body plus 10, and Charm plus 8. When Chinese nationals receive any degree of medical treatment, the treatment effect will be increased by 100 times. This national games rewards all Chinese nationals, and those who really have no sense of belonging to China, hate China, and intend to betray China can enjoy it. See rewards for completing rituals. Yumo was immediately overwhelmed with excitement. It was exactly as expected. After I and Ryoko Yuman completed the ceremony, I got the corresponding healing skills. Now I am already a strong player who integrates physical attack 020, legal attack, control, and defense. But it lacks one-handed treatment skills. The arrival of this wife, Ryoko, directly made up for her lack of strength. Let yourself now become an invincible existence with double attack burst table, thick blood and high defense, and can also recover blood. Yumo couldn't help but look at his current attribute data. Player. Yumo. Personal rewards. God Spirit Control Power SS God Divine Healing Body SS. National Fortune Rewards. God Erosion Spirit Guardian SS God Lay Healing Physique SS. Attributes. Body 261 to 323, Strength 316 to 358, Sensitivity 254 to 296, Wisdom 296 to 338, Charm 236 to 276. Skills. Evil Spirit Summoning S God's Retribution Curse S. Star Healing SS releases healing energy, which can restore the blood volume and injuries of oneself and teammates. Shrouded in Holy Light SS add a Holy Light buff, which can continuously restore blood volume and injuries. Equipment. Benlei Genshin Artifact Dream Gossip Pendant Epic Level. Yumo looked at himself and almost broke all attributes of 300 now, CFFH. Can't help but sigh cruelty. Now no matter what kind of enemy appears in front of oneself, you can easily defeat it by yourself. And the stronger his ability is, he will return to reality 3 years later. He will be able to have greater confidence in fighting against the arrival of civilization in another dimension. And the nationals of Washa saw the national games reward brought to them by Yumo again. Once again, like yesterday, everyone stood up excitedly. Lay on physique, the healing effect has been increased by 100 times. This is too exaggerated. Doesn't that mean that no matter what the disease is, as long as you go to the hospital for treatment, you will be cured immediately? Anyway, according to the literal meaning, I think so. Oh my God, if this is the case, wouldn't we Chinese people no longer suffer from any diseases? The national luck reward brought by the fox fairy Fengju before determined the direction of our treatment, and now this national luck reward is to directly increase our healing speed. These two national luck rewards work well together. We Chinese people no longer have to be afraid of any kind of disease. The citizens of the hostile country saw that Yumo had once again brought a god-level national fortune reward, and everyone beat their chests. Shiete, Shiete. It is impossible to have such an exaggerated national games reward. After receiving treatment, the treatment effect will be increased by 100 times. Are you kidding me? It means that I was hacked more than a dozen times, and I can heal immediately with a band-aid. I have cancer, can I recover immediately after taking a medicine? Ziba, what the hell is this? The people of Huasha have increased their life expectancy by more than 20 years, right? Now that this kind of national fortune reward is coming, is it to let every Chinese person live forever? Don't forget, they can still keep their faces for 20 years. The national fortune rewards were issued immediately, and rays of holy light fell from the sky and fell into every inch of China's land. The people who were flooded by the light were grateful for the national luck reward brought by Yumo. Tears welled up in their eyes. At this time, in hospitals across the country, there are many patients who are undergoing treatment or have just finished treatment. Or a patient who has just finished using a cure. In this second, everything recovered immediately, and there were no side effects. Everyone became lively and full of energy. It didn't look like he was sick at all. These patients all shed tears of excitement at this moment. If it weren't for this national luck matchmaking game, they might have died a few days ago. It was Yumo who added years and years of life to them, improving their attributes a little bit. In the absence of drug treatment, it was Yumo who worked with Huasha's scientific researchers again to make special medicines suitable for them by using plants with the attributes of immortal medicines. And just after starting treatment, it's Yumo again who doubles their healing. Directly restore them to a fully healthy body. In just a few days, Yumo saved countless Huasha patients who were about to lose their lives. In the game world, the satisfied Yumo took Mim and Ryoko back to his homeland. At this time, in order to welcome the newly joined Shin Yuekui and Hoshino Ai, the girls decided to have a welcome party tonight. With the help of the eclipse spirit summoned by Shin Yuekui, a raging bonfire has already been lit on the farm outside the castle. Tables and chairs are arranged neatly, and a barbecue grill is also set up. Xiao Wu, Feng Ju, and Kyle with their stomachs puffed out are making the final seasonings for the premium wild boar barbecue and premium wagyu beef barbecue on the table. While Shinuekui was leaning on a comfortable chair, she easily directed the eclipse spirit to handle all kinds of heavy work. Xiao Ai stood by the bonfire, excitedly brought Yi Fu together, singing and dancing for everyone to celebrate. Ryoko, who just walked in, saw the picture in front of her. I was immediately shocked by the warm and loving scene. Wow, there are so many sisters. Everyone looks so beautiful. Yumo smiled slightly. Welcome to our family. When the girls saw Yumo coming back, they even brought back a sister with a cherry blossom flavor. All of a sudden they were surprised. Brother, you were really good, you brought back two in one day. Husband, what is the name of this sister? It feels like she and Xiao Ai are of the same race, the Qi family. Well, no. Her strength is much stronger than Xiao Ai. What, Ryoko, you can speak Sakura. Husband, he likes it the most. Ryoko greeted everyone politely, and then everyone couldn't wait to start the picnic party tonight. After the barbecue party, Yumo came to the taming dragon altar inside the castle and refreshed at once. Today is still relatively non-chief, and no second dragon has been spawned. Then came to the god fire furnace. Throw in all the equipment harvested from the trading system today. Increases the smelting value in the godfire furnace. After completing a series of work, Yumo is relieved to start the 4-person time with Shinue, Xiao Ai, and Liangzi. The skills and moves of Huasha and Sakura collided with each other, making the whole dragon training stone castle tremble, quivering. Hearing this, Xiao Wu, Feng Ju and Kyle all tossed and turned. I thought in my heart that the baby in my stomach would be born quickly. And that night, How to Train Your Dragon Castle once again ushered in a group of B+ night attack monsters to attack. But how can Yumo, who is fighting fiercely, let them disturb his elegant mood? Directly summon the spirits with a skill, and let the spirits clear the field instantly. Continue to fire at the Sakura battlefield. Seeing that the live broadcast of Washa has been in the dark, and the picture of Yumo entering the castle with 3 top beauties just now. The Washa nationals, who were too restless to sleep, began to browse the live broadcasts of players from other countries to have fun. The most exciting thing is the live broadcast of Gripa, Li Bingxian, and Durant, who formed the 3-person team at the moment. Li Bingxian and Durant have already checked into Gripa's cozy cabin. After suffering Gripa's crazy venting today, the 3 views of the two seem to have collapsed. But Gripa's strength is several times stronger than theirs. In order to survive, the two still gritted their teeth and endured it. And just when Gripa launched another rear offensive against the two, the arrival of night attack monsters disrupted Gripa's enjoyment. The 3 ran out to take a look, but they didn't expect to be attacked by a group of rotten skeletons whose strength was C+. And outside the home at the moment is extremely terrible hail weather. Hailstones the size of quail eggs fell down, causing pain to the skin, and blisters formed in an instant. The angry Gripa didn't dare to be careless, and called out his wife, the queen of earthworms, Dolly. Let it use its huge body to block the front, preventing this group of huge rotting skeletons from approaching them. And Dolly has a skill that increases his own defense. Using this skill, it relied on its hard skin to resist the bite of this group of rotting skeletons. Gripa immediately raised the phosphorescent bow in his hand, and started shooting flaming arrows towards the heads of the rotting skeletons. Whoosh, whoosh, I saw a sound of flaming sharp arrows piercing through the falling hailstones, precisely hitting the heads of every rotten skeleton. The powerful flame instantly devoured the head of every rotten skeleton. Li Bingxian and Durant next to him clutched their aching chrysanthemum hair, secretly startled by Gripa's fighting power at the moment. Seeing the two of them motionless at this moment, Gripa couldn't help asking. "Oh, you two, won't you help me? Didn't you see?" Dolly almost couldn't hold on anymore. Only then did the two come to their senses, and nodded quickly. Okay, no. The two immediately returned to the house to take their long swords and simple swords. Durant was dumbfounded, obediently obeying Gripa's words. He directly picked up his long knife and headed towards the group of rotting skeletons outside the house against the hail. At this moment, Li Bingxian, who got the simple knife, also walked out of the room. But he saw that Gripa was concentrating on attacking the rotting skeleton in the distance. Leave him with a defenseless back. Thinking of the scene where Gripa ignored Pu Yidian's death before. Thinking of being violently destroyed by Gripa today. Li Bingxian's eyes suddenly flashed a fierce light, and he immediately walked towards Gripa's back with his simple knife. Just when Li Bingxian was about to activate his skill, Berserk. One hit kills the defenseless Gripa Shi at the moment. Li Bingxian only felt a green shadow flash in front of his eyes. It was also mixed with an extremely angry roaring female voice. "Ah, you heartless man, I kill you." When Li Bing took a closer look, he found that it was a bullfrog. At this moment, the bruised bullfrog was using its extremely thick hind legs. Kicked violently towards Gripa's head. Li Bingxian was taken aback for a moment. What the hell? The unsuspecting Gripa was kicked by the bullfrog and flew out. Gripa's entire head suddenly swelled into a pig's head. But Sister Bullfrog still underestimated the additional attributes of Gripa's equipment. He failed to kill Gripa. Gripa, who fell like a dog, held his head tightly, and immediately stood up from the ground angrily. "Small, eat what's inside and out. How dare you plot against me? I will send you to heaven to see the Buddha today." After all, Gripa angrily urged all his strength and pulled the phosphorescent bowstring. Number 10. Facing the bullfrog's sister is to shoot a full-strength rocket. Li Bingxian, who was standing behind the bullfrog's sister, was startled. "Ziba, I'm still here." After finishing speaking, Li Bing first jumped towards the outside of the house. Immediately left the original standing position. A blaze of light drove towards at a very high speed, reaching the chest of Sister Shenghuaba. Sister Bullfrog is already weak, and has been beaten by Gripa these days. At this moment, there is no strength left to dodge anymore. He was directly pierced by a rocket from Gripa and died on the spot. Li Bingxian, who was hit on the head by the hailstone at this moment, also forgot the pain. He secretly thought to himself that it was fortunate that he was not the one who attacked Gripa just now. If he hadn't been hacked to death with a knife, he would be the one who died now. And at the moment when the frog sister died, The text broadcast of the game system is displayed immediately. You killed a marriage partner who has already completed the ceremony with you. 3 minutes later, the Tao Kingdom will randomly generate a disaster. As the world's first player to kill his own wife, Lulipa was furious at the moment. Bullfrog, cowfrog, I wish I had known that I would have killed it directly. After that, he continued to face the hail with Li Bingxian and Durant, fighting against the rotting skeletons that were constantly attacking. Seeing this scene, the citizens of Tao country fell into despair one after another. A domestic violence man can never forgive. He's not a man at all, he's a woman. He's a dead man. Because of him, we in Tao country don't know how many people will die. Hey, who made this Gripa live until now? Our Tao country is probably the same as the Sakura country, and it is about to fall. With this pervert as our player all the time, we will never get the real national luck reward. The Chinese citizens who were watching all sighed. 6 the world's first wife kill. It has to be this dead ladyboy. I didn't expect to kill the marriage partner who has completed the ceremony, and my own country will suffer disaster. It seems that I heard that he is antisocial just like that untouchable from the 3 kingdoms. He should think it doesn't matter. There is no harm without comparison. Fortunately, we really have such a godlike existence as Yu Fu. If the official agrees, maybe we can start to unify the world now. I have tested it, and my eclipse is very strong. Overnight, until noon, Yu Mo woke up from his sleep in a daze. Last night's 3 great wars against Liu Biyu exhausted everyone's physical strength. Xin Yue, Xiao Ai, and Liangzi are sleeping deeply at the moment, and there is no sign of waking up. After going downstairs, Yu Mo immediately smelled the aroma from the kitchen. Xiao Wu and Feng Ju must have thoughtfully prepared lunch for him. And just when Yu Mo came to the kitchen, it was found that Xiao Wu and Feng Ju's stomachs were bigger than yesterday. As for Kyle, who was fiddling with tableware on the dining table, his stomach began to bulge slightly. It seems that yesterday's premium boar meat and the breath of the dragon in How to Train Your Dragon Stone Castle. It is really effective. Yu Mo was very satisfied and gave each of the 3 wives a reward. Then he began to enjoy his lunch happily. Woohoo, 377. At this time, the sound of Night Fury came from the attic. The little guy who didn't know what he was doing just now flew in. Landed firmly in the lobby. If it wasn't for the S-class How to Train Your Dragon Stone Fortress that was big enough, you'd worry that Yifu would not be able to stop the car and damage several pieces of furniture. Just when Yu Mo wanted to call Yifu over to eat. But he was surprised to find that Yifu's body seemed to be a circle bigger than yesterday. Now he can ride and fly on Yifuan's body. And the scales on Yifuan's body became more and more shiny, and it seemed to have stronger defense. The outline of the muscles all over the body has also become clearer, and it is known that its strength has been improved again. Yu Mo used his own system to look at Night Fury's data at this time. Name: Night Fiend, mature stage. Race: Dragon. Gender: 6. Strength: A. Potential: SSS. Skills: Steel Dragon Tail, Energy Breath, Dragon Flame Storm, Dazzling Wings. Yu Mo frowned, and asked Kyle beside him in surprise. Honey, how much wild boar meat did this kid Yifu eat last night? Kyle looked at Yifu dotingly and said, It's not much, the 7 of us eat 2 ends, and each of us eats 1 portion. Feng Ju knew that Yifu had a good appetite, so she directly roasted 3 heads for it with her skills. Feng Ju giggled from the side and said, I just found out last night that our Yifu can eat so much. Yu Mo immediately looked at Yifu speechlessly. Brat, you eat 3 premium wild boars at once. No wonder you grow up so fast. From today onwards, you have to control a little. The remaining premium wild boars are going to reproduce. Yi Sha looked at Yu Mo innocently. He indicated that he really had a better appetite yesterday. But he looked at Xiao Wu, Feng Ju and Kyle pitifully. Drooping his head and pretending to be pitiful. Xiao Wu looked at Yi Sha's pitiful look at this time, and said distress-edly. Brother, why are you so stingy? Aren't they 3 premium wild boars? Feng Ju also echoed from the side. Husband, don't blame Yifu, I roasted the wild boar for it, don't blame the child. Kyle also said angrily. Hey, cheapskate. Yifu immediately showed a pitiful look, and shook his tail at the 3 hostesses. It seems to be very grateful to them. But when he turned his head to look at Yumo, he actually made a mocking grimace. It seems to be telling Yumo, just a little bit, I will eat and I will eat. Yumo immediately laughed out of anger. Okay, you little green tea. Who taught you these? After eating and drinking enough, Yuhei brought the little green tea food to the initial plane. After putting the prepared food into the trading system. Start exploring today. Maybe it was the day before yesterday and yesterday that he had 3 wives, 2 of whom were wives in the high-end marriage room. The ones refreshed today are undoubtedly 4 random rooms with white doors. Yumo looked up and looked at the information of 4 random rooms. Monster room. Behind the door is a blizzard eagle with a chance to burst rewards. Its strength is A. It cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Monster room. Behind the door is a boss sea turtle. There is a chance to unlock the achievement. The strength is 5+, it cannot be used as food, you can easily defeat it without injury. Resource room. There is a building upgrade card behind the door, which is useless to you, you can hang it on the trading market to exchange for resources. Trap room. Behind the door is an altar of evil spirits, you will be cursed by evil spirits when you enter. You can't resist, all attributes will drop by 99% within 24 hours, you can skip it directly. Yumo frowned. The powerful boss Vast Sea Turtle has a chance to unlock the achievement. Yumo started to get excited. The last time the first boss kill achievement unlocked unlimited exploration rooms. That's how he progressed so fast. And this time if you unlock a new achievement again, then you will definitely be able to continue to allow yourself to get better achievement rewards. But before the challenge, you still likes to start exploring from easy to difficult. Skip the trap room directly. A building upgrade card with quality C was issued in the resource room, and Shungji immediately put it on the trading system. The target is exchanged for 7 pieces of random quality equipment. In the 3rd monster room, Yumo pushed Yifu into the door. Came to an empty snow field. An eagle's cry resounded suddenly, and a giant eagle monster with a body length of nearly 3 meters and a pure white body rushed out of the snowy sky. Monster. Blizzard Eagle. Name. Ice. Strength. A. The blizzard flying eagle's eyes had locked onto Yumo and Yifurin who were standing on the ice field and snow. The looming spiritual power turned the white snow floating around it into ice flowers one after another. Fell into the snow field below. Yumo smiled slightly, and said to Yisha in front of him. Yifu, I can't hear it. This little bird is given to you, is it okay? Yifu nodded excitedly, signaling to the master to rest assured. Then there was a dragon cry, and he spread his wings and flew high into the sky, ready to face Wenji Blizzard Flying Eagle. Hearing that Yumo wants Yifu singled out this A Blizzard Flying Eagle. Chinese citizens are looking forward to it, but they are also worried. Are you going to let Yifu single out this A monster? Is Yu Shen so sure? Night Fury has only been spawned for a few days. Can it beat an A monster? Yu Shen has a really big heart, and training spiritual pets is not like this. What if Yifu is killed by this monster? Upstairs, you look down on the noble dragon clan too much, don't you? Yu Shen must have his reasons for doing this. However, last night I watched Yifu eat 3 roasted wild boars. Its strength should have improved a little, and it should be stable. Roar. Flying high into the sky, Yifu flapped his wings, and his sharp eyes locked on the blizzard flying eagle in front of him. And the blizzard flying eagle has already begun to stimulate the magic power in its body. An attack on Night Fury is about to begin. On the vast snow field, the cold wind howled, and the flying snowflakes covered the whole world. Yi Fury and Blizzard Flying Eagle floated above the snowy field. The 2 were as imposing as mountains, and the cold air shrouded the surroundings. Night Fiend took the lead in attacking, and it raised its head and exhaled. A stream of ice blue energy spewed out from its mouth, passing through the cold snowflakes, leaving behind a dazzling trail of light. As the power of the energy breath grows to the level of A, the Night Fury also becomes more and more powerful, violently flying towards the Blizzard Flying Eagle. The Blizzard Flying Eagle flapped its wings, carrying the strong wind and ice cold, and chose to meet this energy shock directly. It opened its mouth slightly, and its icy breath instantly condensed into ice mist, filling the air, forming an ice wall. The energy breath collided with the ice wall, making a deafening impact sound, and the ice flakes splashed and fell to the ground one after another. The Blizzard Flying Eagle flapped its wings, triggering a raging wind, rolling up snowflakes and flying all over the sky, forming a powerful blizzard wind. The gust of wind howled, enveloped Yi Fiend's whole body, and the cold air was overwhelming. It seemed that Yi Fiend 25 could be frozen into ice cubes in the next second. But how could Yi Fu's strength be underestimated now? Yi Fu roared wildly and immediately activated his spiritual power. The dragon flame storm formed a halo around Yi Fiend's body, resisting the attack of the blizzard wind. But the cold still seeped in, causing Yi Fuan to shiver suddenly. With his fighting spirit fully aroused, Yi Fiend's eyes were piercing. He broke through the blizzard that was trying to control him in an instant, and galloped towards the blizzard eagle. Yi Fu, who instantly got closer to blizzard flying eagle, slammed the steel dragon's tail, and shot at blizzard flying eagle like an iron rod. The dragon tail traveled through the space like lightning, and with a powerful force, it instantly slammed into blizzard flying eagle's body. The scales as hard as metal collided with the pure white feathers. Blizzard flying eagle trembled, and was immediately knocked down from the sky by Yi Fu. Seeing that the blizzard flying eagle was stunned at this moment, Yi Fuan unfolded his dazzling wings, and the dragon wings spread out, and the scorching light enveloped the surroundings, forming a huge energy barrier. This barrier is so powerful that it surrounds the blizzard flying eagle, making it impossible to escape. Blizzard flying eagle, who was just stunned, came back to his senses at this time, and found that he was completely unable to move. In the next second, an icy blue energy breath gushed out from Yi Fiend's mouth, majestic like a mountain peak, tore apart the blizzard wind, broke through the turmoil of the blizzard, and pointed directly at the blizzard eagle. Boom! The suppressed blizzard flying eagle couldn't resist, and was directly blasted into pieces by this powerful energy breath. Night Fury defeated blizzard flying eagle in a crushing manner. Ding! The host kills the monster, and gets the source point plus 160. Yu Mo, who stood motionless at the same spot, nodded in satisfaction. Although blizzard flying eagle's strength is at the same level as Night Fury. But whether it is talent or combat skills, skill power, blizzard flying eagle is far from being the opponent of Yi Fury. And just after witnessing a crushing and exciting air battle, the citizens of Washa were all shocked by the strength of Yi Fuan. Is this the powerful dragon clan? Just a few days after it was spawned, you can tear a monster with your hands. It's no wonder Yu Shen has been leading Yi Fiend to explore and fight. This strength improvement is too exaggerated. It's too strong. Don't even talk about God. Yi Fury can kill any player from other countries in seconds. It's hard to imagine, if the strength of Night Fury reaches S level in the future, what a terrifying power emperor it will be. Fortunately, Yu Mo is our Chinese divine light. Yi Fu is also our Chinese divine beast. I can even imagine the shocking scene of Yu Shen holding the Thunder Genshin and the Dragon Clan Yi Fu under his seat when the civilization of another dimension invades in the future. In the game world, Yi Fu flapped his wings and returned to Yu Mo. He waved his dragon tail happily. It seems to be asking the master how he is doing. Yu Mo smiled and patted Yi Fury's hard head. Nice job, Night Fury. Night Fiend also shouted excitedly. Whoa! At this time, Yu Mo saw that the remnant of the blizzard flying eagle, which was blasted into pieces by Yi Fuan, just fell to the ground. A beam of light was born and began to condense. Finally, a piece of equipment was condensed. Yu Mo took a closer look and found that it was a long gown made of light white gauze material, which was soft and smooth like lotus root silk. It is transparent and thin, able to float lightly around the body, creating an ethereal atmosphere. The main body of the clothing presents a pure and flawless white, as if the sky is full of snow condensed in the world. On top of this white tone, some blue snowflakes are dotted, like magic flowers in the ice and snow world, lighting up the whole costume. Blue. Colorful snowflakes are scattered in every corner of the clothes, shining like stars, full of graceful and luxurious temperament. The neckline and cuffs are decorated with exquisite hollow patterns, and every carving seems to contain a profound meaning. The hem of the clothes is as elegant as snow, giving people an elegant feeling like a fairy descended into the world. The game system also presents the information of this piece of equipment. Equipment name: Snow Ice Robe Epic Level. Equipment attributes: Wisdom plus 40, Sensitivity plus 40, Body plus 26. Equipment additional skill: Blizzard Storm Rage, causes powerful ice elemental damage to the target, and has a chance to have a freezing effect, cooldown time 60s. Epic equipment. Yumo didn't expect that a monster with a strength of A would spawn an epic top piece of equipment. Moreover, whether it is the added attributes or additional skills of this snow-treading ice robe, it is very powerful. This is the first time I have come across tops and equipment that suits me. Yumo immediately put on this gorgeous snow-walking ice robe without hesitation. The so-called man depends on clothes, Buddha depends on gold clothes, the hand testicles with a charm attribute as high as 275 points have completely looked like a male succubus. At this moment, it is also blessed by this snow-treading ice robe, whose hem is as elegant as snow. It makes Yumo look like a god descending from the heavens, overlooking the vastness of sentient beings. Seeing this picture, hundreds of millions of Chinese female citizens stared dumbfounded. Yu Shen is so handsome. Really handsome. This dress is so perfect, it was tailor-made for Yumo. If only I could become the wife of God Yu, I can be woken up by him every day. This face is really amazing. Even Nua can't make such a beautiful face. Sisters, I can't take it anymore, you look at me, I have to solve it myself. Sisters upstairs, let's get together. And sensing his soaring attributes, as well as the power of the ice element awakened in his body after wearing this snow-walking ice robe, Yumo felt extremely comfortable at the moment. Even Yi Fury, who was beside him, felt more handsome because of his new clothes. Yumo is full of information at this time and said, "Go, Night Fury, continue to beat the next strong enemy." Yumo, who returned to the initial plane, led Yi Fu into the last monster room without hesitation. The boss whose strength is S+, the vast sea turtle. And the moment Yumo pushed open the door, Yumo actually fell down. Yi Sha beside him suddenly roared anxiously, and also jumped down. All Chinese citizens were shocked when they saw Yumo suddenly slipped and fell. What happened to Yu Shen? Why did he suddenly fall? Is this a trap room? How can there be such a trap room? Just opened the door and fell down. Oops, oh God, couldn't it be that our China's divine light will be wiped out today? Those hostile devils watching the excitement laughed arrogantly one after another. Ha 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 ha, God has finally appeared. This brat Washa has finally received retribution. Great, I just said how could this kid be so lucky all the time. Yoshi, good death. Countless Sakura citizens, you have to avenge your revenge. Who would have thought that such a strong Yumo would die in a trap room? Ha 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 ha. Ah she, I'm so happy. Washa's big money is finally dead. But it didn't take long for these people to be happy, and the live game screen immediately froze. Yumo, who was riding on Yi Fu, returned to everyone's sight. He stared blankly at everything below. When he pushed the door and entered, Tien really accidentally stepped on the air and fell. But with the skill Angel Wings, he immediately activated this skill that gave him the ability to fly. Afterwards, even though Yi Sha arrived, he carried Yumo firmly. The reason why Yumo stepped into the air was because there was no place to stand in this room. At this moment, under Yumo and Yi Sha, it is a rolling ocean, an endless sea. It's like the huge waves constantly rolling up on the violent sea level, giving people a feeling that these monstrous waves are about to tear the sky and the earth apart. The sky is dim and dull, and there seems to be a sense of heavy pressure that is about to come. Roar, accompanied by a roar resounding across the sea, a giant tortoise monster with a body length of nearly 20 meters jumped out of the bottom of the sea. Floating in front of Yumo and Yi Fu, it showed extremely powerful power. When it emerged from the bottom of the sea, it directly drove one after another of monstrous huge waves to surge away in all directions. The entire sea became even more restless because of its appearance. Its carapace is dark green in color, covered with thick rocks, as thick as a city wall, and looks indestructible. There were more than a dozen people embracing the thick limbs, which were covered with moss and scars. It looks like it has extremely terrifying power. And it has a pair of sharp dragon horns on its head, emitting a faint blue light, revealing endless majesty. A pair of eyes exuding a strange light fixedly stared at Yumo, who was riding Yi Fu in the sky above. It seems that there are thousands of years of anger to be vented on this human being in front of him. Monster. Vast sea turtle. Name. Shuquan. Strength. S+. Seeing that Yumo was safe and sound, the Chinese citizens breathed a sigh of relief. But I saw the appearance of the huge boss vast sea turtle with such an exaggerated size. Everyone tensed up again. A boss that big? This big fool is actually called Shukun. Is it alluding to our chicken brother? Did you play tricks upstairs? This boss looks so powerful, can Yu Shen handle it? It's a joke, Yu Shen has even killed a dark spirit dragon with SS strength, and is afraid of AS plus boss. That's right, come on God. Seeing that the testicles were not dead, those hostile devils were very disappointed. But when they saw such a majestic vast sea turtle appearing, they still couldn't help but go to the Washa forum with bad mouths. The strength of this boss is only S+. I can't stop watching. With such a big body, this Chinese man must not be its opponent. There is no standing point, and only relying on this dragon to carry it, I don't believe that he can defeat this boss. Today, Yu Mo didn't bring a wife, so his strength must be inferior to Han Haishuan. Come on, big turtle. Devour this Washa man. In the game world, Tian Li narrowed his eyes slightly. Called out the artifact Ben Lei Jenden. All of a sudden, the thunder surged like a mighty force in Yu Mo's hands. The Yi Fu under his crotch also let out a deep roar, and the spiritual power in his body kept surging, ready to charge and fight. Yu Mo's white robe fluttered like a black dragon knight carrying lightning, exuding a power no less than that of the behemoth in front of him. Roar! The vast sea turtle took the lead in attacking, stretching its thick neck. Facing Yu Mo in the midair, he sprayed out a powerful water cannonball. The power of the water cannonball is so strong that it hits Yu Mo like a real cannon. It can reach Yu Mo in less than 2 seconds. But Yi Fiend's strength is not what it used to be, the moment the vast sea turtle launched an attack. Yi Fiend's strong wings flapped immediately, and a dive led Yu successfully dodged the fierce attack of the black turtle in the vast sea. At this time, Yu Mo's legs exerted strength, and he jumped off Yi Sha. Release the skill, Wanlei Flying Dragon Strike. I saw Yu Mo falling from the sky, and thick buds suddenly blurred out by the electric arc, accompanied by bursts of roaring sound. Thunder arcs are constantly intertwined in midair. Several oriental flying dragons exuding dazzling thunder light were formed. Facing the head of the mysterious turtle in the vast sea, it was suddenly blasted. Boom, boom, boom. There were bursts of cracking sounds suddenly, and a huge explosion occurred the moment Wanlei Filong hit the head of the Xuanhai turtle. It directly blasted the head of the vast sea turtle into a scorched brown. The eyes of the vast sea turtle were immediately covered with a thin layer of blood mist. Roar! The vast sea turtle let out a roar, and the next second slapped its palms on the surface of the sea. A powerful spiritual power soared into the sky. The scattered seawater was unexpectedly controlled by a strange energy, turning into strands of emerald green water rushing towards the wound on the head. In the next second, He Haishuangui's head injury instantly recovered. The galloping Yi Fiend caught the falling Nonuo's Yu Mo in an instant. Yu Mo frowned, he didn't expect this boss to have such a powerful healing skill. At this time, his intelligence attribute has reached a terrifying 378 points. Even if the Wanlei Flying Dragon Strike that I released just now couldn't instantly kill this S+ powerful boss change. But it must have suffered a great deal of damage. But it only used one skill, and it recovered all the damage it took just now. This is the first time Yu Mo has encountered such a formidable enemy. Seeing that the Xuanhai Xuangui has such a powerful healing ability, the citizens of Washa are also shocked. What? This boss can heal itself? Yu Shen's attack is very powerful at first glance, but this boss healed himself in an instant. If this continues, no matter how Yu Shen attacks, it won't be able to stop it from recovering blood. A boss whose strength is S+ should not be underestimated. How can God solve it? In the game world at this time, although the Xuanhai Xuangui healed his injuries, but the real pain just now still hasn't dissipated. I saw the vast sea turtle suddenly stretched out its 2 forelimbs again. It slapped vigorously on the tumbling sea. A series of sharp arrows formed by condensed water burst out of the sea immediately. It attacked Yu Mo and Yi Fu in midair from bottom to top. Seeing this, Yu Mo didn't dare to be careless. Immediately used the skill, Angel Shield. And Night Fury also understood it, and also used the skill, Dazzling Wings. The 2 light shields emitting dazzling light immediately enveloped Yu Mo and Yi Fu. Exudes a powerful and sturdy Gang Qi. When a stream of water and arrows attacked like a rainstorm of pear blossoms, they smashed into pieces one after another on the intertwined shield made of one big and one small. although Yumo and Yifu did not suffer any injuries. But watching the gangqi on the light shield continue to vibrate violently, then you can know how powerful the attack launched by the Black Sea Turtle is. At this time, Yifu was also very angry, and spewed out an ice-blue energy breath towards the head of the vast sea turtle. But the huge vast sea turtle is surprisingly flexible. Immediately retracted his head into the shell. Perfectly dodged the attack launched by Night Fiend. The two sides fought fiercely for several rounds. Yifu was also panting heavily from exhaustion at this time. No matter what kind of attack Yumo and Yifu launch, the vast sea mysterious turtle was able to resist directly, and then healed itself with powerful healing skills. Then use more powerful attack skills to fight back. Although every time Yumo can take Yifu to make a perfect response, so that he will not suffer any damage. But if it continues like this, the advantage will eventually be tilted to the vast sea turtle who is fighting in the sea. Finally, Yuhei discovered the flaw of the sea crossing Zon turtle. That is before the vast sea turtle uses healing skills or attack skills every time. It will suddenly lift its two thick forelimbs, and then pat the sea. Use the splashed seawater as a medium of energy to exert the powerful power of the skill. Seeing this point, Yumo immediately thought of an excellent solution. Night Fury, let's split up. We attack this big 8 at the same time in two directions. Yu said to Yi Sha below him. Although Yifu didn't understand why the master wanted to do this, he still nodded and obeyed obediently. After all, it has unconditional trust in its powerful master. Yumo used the skill again, Angel Wings. Immediately, wings intertwined with flames and holy light grew on Yumo's back. Yumo held Benlei Jenden in his hand, and fanned Angel just behind him. Immediately jumped up from Yi Sha's back, and flew to the other side of the mysterious turtle in the vast sea. At the same time, Night Fiend also swooped down directly. Once again, it sprayed an ice-blue energy breath towards the head of the mysterious sea turtle. At this time, the eyes of the Xuanhai Xuangui in the sea revealed a trace of disdain. It seems that the attacks on Yumo and Night Fury have felt inconsequentially numb. Anyway, I have a powerful healing skill. Their attacks are painless. But Yumo, who came to the other side of the mysterious turtle in the vast sea, at this moment, the snow-walking ice robe on his body already exuded a dazzling ice-blue light. I saw Yumo began to recite the formula, urging his spiritual power to the maximum power. Immediately, it spewed out a breath of ice and snow like a gust of thousands of miles, blasting towards the surface of the sea in front of the vast Season turtle. When the breath of ice and snow touched the constantly churning sea surface, the powerful power and extreme low temperature instantly condensed the sea surface into thick ice. Wherever the icy and snowy wind passed, the seawater that was still surging all turned into a piece of condensed ice. At the same time, all the forelimbs of the Xuanhai Xuangui were frozen, making them unable to move. Hanhai Xuangui's originally calm face suddenly became terrified at this moment. For the first time, it felt such a biting cold that it directly lost CFAB consciousness in its forelimbs. The vast sea turtle kept roaring, trying to pull its forelimbs out of the ice. However, it was discovered that the frozen body could not exert any power at all. Even at this moment, the energy breath emitted by Yifu hit him heavily in the face. It can only endure the severe pain and is powerless. Seeing the success of the plan, Yumo immediately mobilized his spiritual energy and recited the formula. The crystal-clear Benlei Genshin in his hand immediately burst out a dark purple energy ray soaring into the sky. Then it turned into a huge energy shock in the sky and fell from the sky. It was heavily bombarded on the carapace of the giant tortoise in the vast sea. Skill, Curse of God's Retribution. The immobile sea turtle has already lost its ability to move, and cannot resist this extremely powerful skill at all. Instantly suppressed by the powerful energy, 50% of the body's attributes also flowed into Yumo's body. Yumo smiled slightly, and Sao raised the Benlei Jenden in his hand. The wings of the angel behind him flapped suddenly, and galloped towards the mysterious turtle in the vast sea. Skill, Thunder Fury Dragon Stab. Yumo, who transformed into a ray of thunderous brilliance, instantly landed on the huge head of the vast sea turtle. The power of thunder surrounding the body turned into a roaring giant dragon head. Suddenly stabbed the Benlei Genshin in his hand. The powerful thunder force instantly penetrated the entire body of the vast sea turtle. Smash all the thick ice that has condensed on the sea surface. The powerful power directly penetrates the head of the mysterious sea turtle that has lost 50% of its attributes. Hanhai Shuangui let out a low growl of despair, the life suddenly dissipated. Ding! The host kills the monster, and gets the source point plus 450. Yu Mo summoned the Benlei gentian that pierced into the bottom of the sea and floated in midair, quietly watching the vast sea turtle gradually sinking into the bottom of the sea. At this time, the prompt from the game system is also converted into text and presented on the game screen. Congratulations to the player for completing the achievement of Navigation Boss First Kill. Unlock Achievement Reward. The player's country gets the future battleship Hanhai Suspended Ship. Introduction to the Hanhai Floating Ship. The Hanhai Floating Ship has a huge hull that can accommodate hundreds of fighters and an army of 10,000 people. At the same time, the hull is equipped with future armed technologies such as laser cannons, laser heavy machine guns, battleship floaters, energy protection walls, and missile interceptors. It has extremely strong combat capabilities. The instructions for using the battleship will be issued to the Chinese military, and only Chinese nationals can activate it. Foreign nationals cannot land on the warship. Seeing this reward, Tianyi was immediately excited. Armed technology from the future, a super battleship that can hold an army of 10,000 people. Huasha owns this important weapon of the country, isn't that looking down on any country in the world? Starting today, which other country will provoke China? See the description of Yu Mo's rewards for unlocking achievements. At this moment, the 1.4 billion Chinese citizens are very excited. Yu Shenyu beep. He directly brought such a national weapon to us in Huasha. Armed technology from the future, a floating battleship that can accommodate 10,000 people. Oh my god, this reward is too top-notch. It's comparable to a god-level national games reward. With this super warship, which country dares to provoke us Huasha? All kinds of future weapons, my god, I really want to see them with my own eyes. With this kind of heavy weapon, let alone foreign countries, we don't even have to panic when another dimension civilization invades 3 years later. At this time, those fake foreign devils in foreign countries fled the China Forum one after another. I am afraid that my remarks will be seen by the Chinese people. Now that China has such a terrifying national weapon, they know that China's national power has reached the point where it cannot be violated at all. Gift Crab. Vast sea suspension ship. Possesses weapons from the future. Crazy, this suspension ship can accommodate hundreds of fighters. Does such a terrifying thing really exist? Mary Falk, Huasha got this invincible battleship, wouldn't that directly secure the position of the world's overlord? Zyba, the players in our Banksea Kingdom will sneak around all day long, and Yu Mo directly brought such a powerful future weapon to his Huasha. Baga, if Huasha directly uses this battleship to attack us, we won't have any ability to resist at all. The most excited one belongs to Huasha officials. A group of senior officials and leaders in the conference room jumped up happily at this moment. With this vast sea floating ship, we can keep China safe. Just by looking at the names of the weapons it is equipped with, you can tell how powerful it is. With it, our national strength has directly risen countless levels. This is what Yu Mo gave us Huasha with his life in the game. Yu Mo is the biggest hero of our Huasha. The expression on the Great Elder's face at this time was also very excited. With this vast sea suspension ship, it is equivalent to directly doubling China's national power several times. At this time, Huasha no longer has to fear any country. Anyone who dares to provoke Huasha will be punished. A few minutes later, in the sea in the northeast of Huasha, an extremely brilliant light descended from the sky. The sea area shrouded in light is huge, like a small sun falling down. When the light faded, Yuzhan's heavy weapon, the sea suspension ship, stood proudly above the sea of Huasha. When Huasha officials received the news, they immediately broadcast it in real time through satellites, allowing Chinese citizens to see this powerful future weapon one after another. When the Hanhai floating ship quietly appeared on the sea, its huge hull made people stare with bated breath. The hull is as high as dozens of floors, and it is like a giant moving castle, giving people an extremely majestic feeling. Metal alloy armor covers the surface of the hull, shining with a faint blue light, like a domain of a patron saint, firmly guarding the hull. The shape of the bow is like a huge battle axe, with a curved and sharp blade piercing the sky. The entire hull is dominated by black and silver, with red trim and decorations, showing a decisive atmosphere of future technology and war. Under the sunlight, the hull of the ship shines with an amazing metallic luster, as if it is a giant war beast from the future. The hull is covered with various combat modules and weapon systems. Advanced weapons such as laser cannons, laser heavy machine guns, and missile interceptors are scattered in the tactical positions of the hull. They emit high energy fluctuations, like sharp swords in the eyes. Once an attack is launched, it will be overwhelming. The sides and upper layers of the hull are covered with grooves and bulges between the armor plates. These structures not only play a decorative role, but also strengthen the design of the hull, providing additional protection and combat functions for the hull. The bottom of the hull is covered with warship floaters. They are like miniature floating platforms, using a powerful magnetic field to suspend the entire giant hull in the air, allowing it to fly and maneuver freely on any terrain. The bridge of the Hanhai floating ship is located at the highest point of the hull, and the bridge adopts a fully transparent design, which is elegant and futuristic. The hull is surrounded by an energy protection wall, which is a barrier formed by a high-intensity energy field, capable of resisting and absorbing any form of attack from the enemy. The surface of the protective wall is as smooth as a mirror, which naturally reflects the surrounding light, forming a beautiful halo, and at the same time, it also shows the super defensive power of the Hanhai floating ship. The design of the huge hull, metal armor, advanced weapon system, warship floater, and bridge all beautifies its powerful combat effectiveness and unparalleled majesty. When all Chinese citizens saw the appearance of the Hanhai floating ship, they all shed tears of excitement. Is this the most important weapon of the country from the future? It's so shocking. It's hard to imagine how terrifying it can be when it enters a combat state. With its protection, our Washa will definitely be able to travel across the world. Invincible. I say, let's just use it to conquer the world. It's so shocking. China has finally become the hegemony of the world today. But we are not a hegemony, we will only use it to guard China. Thank you, Yu Mo. Thank you for everything you have brought to us in Washa. 2 hours later, Washa officials announced an important action instruction. Clean up operation. Start now. Tens of thousands of Chinese soldiers came to Shangjiang and Wanwan. Cooperate with the local soldiers to investigate all the residents of the two places. The method of investigation is very simple, that is, to screen the residents of the two places to see if they have the ability to summon their own spirits. If one's own spirit is summoned, it means that the person's heart identifies with Washa. Understand that Shangjiang, Wanwan and the mainland of the motherland are inseparable. He is an upright and undisputed Chinese citizen. If you can't summon the eclipse spirit, then you will be the Gangdu and Wandu who crippled China. Will be arrested by Washa soldiers. Any lawbreakers who dare to resist will be directly subdued by the Frank Field soldiers with explosive combat power. To put it another way, the purge operation can also be called the complete recovery of Shangjiang and Wanwan. Let them return to the embrace of the motherland in the true sense. Until late at night, under the concerted efforts of tens of thousands of Chinese soldiers and soldiers from the two places, countless Gangdu and Wandu who were unable to summon eclipses were all arrested. These people will be taken to fixed places for thought remolding. When did you recognize your identity as a Chinese, and when will you be forgiven by the law? Previously, due to the interference of eagle sauce, cherry blossoms and various countries, encourage the actions and arrogance of those criminals. Let this difficult task stand still. But now Washa has such a national weapon. How dare those clown devils who are trying to split China dare to do anything? In just a few hours, the Chinese people have fulfilled the long-cherished wish of all Chinese people for decades. Let the two places truly and completely return to China. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.